As the regular season gets closer and closer to its conclusion, these games become more and more important as we welcome you inside the Budweiser bullpen for tonight's matchup between the El Paso Rhinos and the Amarillo Wranglers. Hi everybody, Guy Chiarenza on the call tonight, and this is a big one as third place still up for grabs. Rhinos currently hold that position, but the Wranglers need a win tonight to stay in contention for third place. As Amarillo enters the matchup with a record of 29-19, 6-2, 66 points, fourth place in the South Division. El Paso, a record of 34-14, 4-2, 74 points, third place in the South Division. Now, both teams have already punched their ticket to the Robertson Cup Playoffs. There's no doubt about that. But the thing that is up for grabs is seeding. And currently the Rhinos do occupy that third seed. Wranglers would have to win out, including here tonight, to have an outside shot at finishing third in the division. As the Wranglers on 66 points on the season right now, just 4 games remaining, including tonight. If they win out and El Paso were to lose out, the Wranglers would own that tiebreaker against the Rhinos and then would have possession of third place in the South Division. That is the only way the Wranglers can finish third. The Wranglers have to win tonight if they want to have a chance at finishing in the third place spot. This is the 8th and final meeting of the season between the Wranglers and the Rhinos, and we know how much fun season series finales can be. There's always a lot of pushing, shoving, goals, and high drama, and we're all here for it on NATV and YouTube. As last time out, it was the El Paso Rhinos coming into this building and winning 5-2, something that they had not done throughout their entire history against the Wranglers was win in this building. The Rhinos took care of business with a big second period surge. The Wranglers did get goals from Ben Ivy and Topi Pukkanen. Ben Ivy playing some of his best hockey right now as he extended his point streak to 4 straight games. He has 3 goals and 3 assists in that span. And Topi Pukkanen continues to put up clutch performances against the Rhinos as he has 4 goals and 3 assists in 7 games in the season series against El Paso. Connor McDonough was great for the Wranglers, but the Rhinos just got too many shots on goal. McDonough stopped 37 of 42 shots faced. The Wranglers have to find a way to limit the Rhinos' shot count here tonight. As for El Paso, their big guns put on a clinic. Medrick Bolduc had 1 goal and 1 assist. He now has 3 goals and 3 assists in the 7 games in the season series. Torrey Lund, 2 apples on the night. He has 2 goals and 5 assists to lead all Rhino skaters with 7 points against Amarillo this season. And Mason LaBelle had a good night as well with 1 goal and 1 assist. And Michael Manzi took care of business between the pipes for the Rhinos, stopping 21 of 23 shots for his 13th win of the season. So the Wranglers look to bounce back here tonight with a big win here today. They could still be in position to claim the third spot in the South Division. And this night is also big for the Wranglers because they're also trying to fend off the New Mexico Ice Wolves, who look to jump the Wranglers for 4th spot in the South Division. And we know home ice is going to be very, very critical in the play-in round, as all 3 games in the play-in will be played under one roof, making home ice very, very important. And the Wranglers want to play the play-in in this building. And so that sets the stage for an exciting matchup here tonight as the Rhinos meet the Wranglers on a Saturday night in downtown Amarillo. When we come back on the Wranglers pregame show, we'll get to the keys to the game and the starting lineups on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back to the Budweiser bullpen, where the Rhinos and the Wranglers are set for first period action in just about 7 minutes from now. As we get to the keys to the game, brought to you by Street Toyota, as it is hockey and hot rods night here in the building. Lots of cool cars on the concourse. I had a blast walking around and checking out all the cool cars. Street Toyota, our sponsor tonight. They're also bringing us the keys to the game. And of course, we talked about it last time we talked. The Wranglers have to find a way to limit the shot count for El Paso, or at least find a way to keep those shots to the outside, make things easy and manageable for Connor McDonough. As last night, it was just way too many shots on goal for El Paso. In fact, the 42 shots taken by El Paso, ties a season high for the Wranglers in shots against. Odessa took 42 against the Wranglers earlier on in the season. Wranglers lost that game as well. And Amarillo has to find a way to limit the El Paso shot count here tonight. The Wranglers also have to watch out for the trailing man, as it seems like when El Paso is moving in transition on their zone entries, they'll stop at one of the top of the circles, look to find a trailer, dish that puck to the trailing man to rip a quick shot on net. We saw the Wranglers get burned on a couple of those plays last night. I'm sure they'll be ready for it here tonight. For the Wranglers, you also have to find a way to expect the unexpected. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but in this building, you got a lot of wacky bounces. The ice never seems to settle in your favor. The puck seems to be bouncing around like a bouncy ball that you get at the mall. And so for the Wranglers, just try a way to stay calm, cool, composed, settle down the puck, make smart decisions, and find good passing lanes. And keep the puck in your possession, get some sustained zone time. I think early on that would do the Wranglers a lot of good. And try and get that first goal of the game, as El Paso is pretty good when they get the opening goal, which they did last night, courtesy of Medrick Bolduc. So they're your keys to the game for tonight. And with that, let's get to our starting lineups. As we'll begin with the visitors, the El Paso Rhinos will send out their top line to begin play tonight. As at left wing, it's going to be number 25, Mason LaBelle, standing at 6'3", 190 pounds. The 2004 born forward. His birthday's coming up pretty soon, May 6th. We'll start at left wing. LaBelle had 1 goal and 1 assist in last night's contest. Centering that line, wearing number 12, is Torrey Lund. He stands at 5'10", 185 pounds, also a 2004 born forward. Lund is having a pretty magnificent season for the Rhinos as well. 15 goals, 28 assists for 43 points in 54 games. Lund is one of the only Rhinos, in fact, he is the only Rhino to have played every single game this season, although Eddie Schepler has played every single game as well, but he was traded from the Minnesota Wilderness to the Rhinos. And rounding out that starting forward line, number 11, Frank Defelski, got his first goal in the season series last night. At the top of the third period, just 21 seconds in. Defelski having a great year for El Paso. In fact, a record-setting year for El Paso with 19 goals, 24 assists, and 43 points in 53 games. He has 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2. So your starting forward line for El Paso, LaBelle, Lund, and Defelski. On defense, at lefty, it's going to be number 18, Alexander Pellerine, standing at 5'11", 190 pounds. The 2004-born defenseman will be paired up with number 22, Jacob Germain. Germain stands at 6'3", 194 pounds. Is also born in 2004. Germain on the season has 9 goals and 17 assists for 26 points in 50 games. And in goal tonight, last night we saw Michael Manzi. This evening it's going to be number 31, Joe Lavulo, standing at 6 foot even, 180 pounds, also born in 2004. Lavulo will be making his 18th appearance on the season. He has a record of 10-4, 2-1, a 2.34 goals against average, an 901 save percentage, and 2 shutouts on the season. So that's your starting lineup for the El Paso Rhinos. Let's get to your Amarillo Wranglers, as they'll send out their top line to begin play tonight as well. Number 93, Jack McDonald, getting the start at left wing with his dad in attendance. McDonald stands at 6'1", 185 pounds. He's a right shot forward from East Aurora, New York. And he's having an impressive campaign, as in 56 games, McDonald has 43 points and is tied for the team league with 31 assists. McDonald also has 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 4 games and is coming off a dominant performance against the Colorado Grit last weekend. Centering that line is going to be number 4, Ben Ivey, Wranglers captain, standing at 6'4", 205 pounds. Left shot forward from San Diego, California. He's currently on a 4-game point streak, 3 goals and 3 assists in that span. He also has 3 goals and 4 assists in his last 6 games since returning to the lineup. Ben Ivey's having a monster season. Wranglers look to continue that here tonight. He'll be paired up with number 6, Jack Ivey on his right wing. His twin brother stands at 6'3", 200 pounds, is a right shot forward from San Diego, California. And both Ben and Jack Ivey will be playing at Army West Point Division I college hockey next season. Jack Ivey leads the team in goals with 30 on this season, is 6 away from tying the Wranglers single-season franchise record, as he has 48 points in 54 games on this season. He's the reigning first star in the South Division, where he put up 3 goals and 2 assists in 3 games against Colorado. So your starting forward line is McDonald, Ben Ivy and Jack Ivy. On defense, number 77, Martins Kruklitis, the big Latvian, standing at 6'6", 210 pounds. Kruklitis represented Latvia at the World Junior Championship not too long ago. He picked up his first point in a Wrangler uniform on the Jack McDonald goal last Saturday, just a week ago. I've liked what Kruklitis has been able to do in a Wrangler uniform. He'll be paired up with number 2, Kyle DeMarco, here tonight as the longtime Wranglers defenseman who's played the most games in Wranglers franchise history. He stands at 6'3", 200 pounds, and is a right shot defenseman from Plymouth, Michigan. And DeMarco is really all you can ask for in a shutdown defenseman. He's also having a career season in terms of offensive output as well. He has 20 points on this season. He just needs 1 goal to tie his career high in the goal departments. And in goal tonight, we saw him yesterday. We'll see him again. He wears number 1 on his jersey. He's number 1 in our hearts. It's Connor McDonough, standing at 6'5", 210 pounds. Catches left, and he's from Mendham, New Jersey. He will play his Division I college hockey at Lindenwood University. McDonough on the season will be making his 48th appearance. He has a record of 24, 16, 5, and 2, a 2.48 goals against average, a .906 save percentage, and 1 shutout on the season as he looks to carry the Wranglers to their 30th victory of the season and win the season series against the El Paso Rhinos. Wranglers wearing specialty jerseys this weekend that'll be auctioned off at the conclusion of tonight's game. It's a Canadian tuxedo look with a red handkerchief around the neck and kind of a brown belt line around the waist. Pretty sharp look for the Wranglers. The Rhinos will be wearing their white jersey with orange numbers and black trim. As it looks like we're going to have a couple of ceremonial puck drops here tonight. Wranglers are lined up at their own blue line. Rhinos starting 6 are out there on their own blue line. As it's going to be a pretty fun matchup here on a Saturday night in downtown Amarillo. Frank Defelski will go out there for the ceremonial puck drop. Kyle DeMarco with the on his sweater will represent the Wranglers. It's a big night in the South Division. We know who's going to the dance. The 6 teams in the playoff field are set. Lone Star, Shreveport, El Paso, Amarillo, New Mexico, and Oklahoma have all punched their tickets. But this is a big game tonight in terms of figuring out where the Wranglers will be playing in the play-in rounds of the Robertson Cup Playoffs. Coming up next on the Wranglers Hockey Network, first pretty puck drop here in Amarillo. But first, we're going to have the national anthem and a few more puck drops as well, as we'll be back in just a moment at the conclusion of the preliminaries on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. roll up that red carpet because we are all set and ready to go from downtown Amarillo inside the Budweiser bullpen where the Wranglers meet the Rhinos on a Saturday night in late March. Your starting goaltenders tonight, Connor McDonough, Joe Lavulo for the respective clubs, as the Rhinos are led by second-year head coach Joe Coombs. The Wranglers are led behind the bench by Austin Sutter. His assistant coach is Connor Yanni. As we get ready for action tonight, one thing that I did notice from night to night is the Wranglers really shuffled their lines around, aside from the starting line, in terms of forward lines. Your second line, Elias Abrant on the left wing with Morris and Phillips. Third line, Godowski with Zapp and Day. Pukinen on the fourth line with McNaughton and Vudic. Although talking with Austin Sutter over the last couple of weeks, it kind of seems like there's not really lines 1, 2, 3, and 4 necessarily. It's just kind of whoever's playing well at a given time is going to be given more ice time. So I would take that not really in terms of depth listed on the line chart, but more so just Sutter trying to play around with different line combinations and get some guys going here down the stretch. As we're getting close towards the end of the regular season, just 4 games, including tonight, remain on the docket for the Wranglers. Big 2 points up for grabs tonight. Wranglers look to make it their own as the puck is dropped and we are underway for first period action in downtown Amarillo. Wranglers win the opening draw. They'll pitch it deep into Rhino territory, battle for it at the far half wall, and the Rhinos will scurry out to center. LaBelle takes a massive hit from Jack Ivey at the scorer's table, while Torrey Lund drives his way deep in the Wrangler end. He'll work his way up the far wall. Looks like he wants to move the puck to the point, but it gets caught up in traffic right in front of the Wrangler bench. Wranglers trying to spar that puck out to the neutral zone, and they are successful in doing so. Torrey Lund will flop it back over to one of his trusty D-men, get it back, and look to start the next Rhino breakout. Jack McDonald picks up the puck at center ice. He'll backhand toss it into the Rhino end and go off for the first change of the night. As on comes Topi Pukinen and Victor Budic out there with Connor McNaughton as the center. Left side, Shepler steps in and shoots, and he scores. Eddie Shepler goes top shelf, and just 1 minute and 1 second into the game, the Rhinos take an early 1-0 lead. For Eddie Shepler, that is his 14th goal of the season and his 4th against the Wranglers this year. And he has given the Rhinos a 1-0 lead, just 1 minute and 1 second. Walker and Germain get the assists, and the Rhinos are off and running. Wranglers look to respond and quickly as they win the ensuing draw. One of the things that El Paso did well last night was not just taking shots, but also winning face-offs. And so we'll see how the Wranglers do in the face-off circle here tonight. As bursting down the right wing go the Rhinos. Walker has shot. McDonough fights it off with a shoulder save. The opening goal of the game came on the first shot of the game, as Shepler now has 6 points against the Wranglers this season. As the Wrangler took a harsh hit in front of the near side boards right in the neutral zone. I believe that's Roman Zapp, and it is. He seems to be in some pain. Hopefully he's going to be able to shake this off and get up. Be all right. His time has stopped 1 minute and 33 seconds into the game. It looks like the medical staff will come out to check on Zapp, who appears to be in okay shape as he's up on 2 feet. He'll work his way over to the Wrangler bench. That's a good sign to see. The German forward is up and about under his own power. So it looks like we're going to have a neutral zone draw right at the center ice logo as a result of the stoppage. It'll be Luke Morris to take it against Medrick Bolduc. And Morris is victorious. Wranglers get possession. TJ Ritchie off a teammate's stick and deep down to Lavulo. Bouncing puck behind the net is settled down by the Rhinos. Bolduc looks to fling it across the ice. Nobody was there. TJ Ritchie picks it up. Passes it off the skate of the referee. Rhinos get possession on the far side. Wranglers bottle up Bolduc at the blue line. TJ Ritchie will possess it on his tape once more. on the right wing, which he pulls up from Arias, who is lurking. Drops it back to Semenyuk, and the Wranglers will get a partial change as they look to find an avenue to break out. It'll start with Ben Ivy, swings out on the left wing. Rhinos quickly get a steal and emerge on the left side. Shot there into the glove of McDonough. That was taken by Coughlin of El Paso, who is making his series debut. Time stops with 17:37 to go in the first period. Rhinos lead 1-0, and the first 3 shots of the game also belong to El Paso. So the Rhinos get off to a hot start. Wranglers looking for some sort of response, as it's a pretty good crowd here at the Budweiser bullpen. Not a lot of empty seats, although the fans have been silenced early on by Eddie Schepler's 15th goal of the season. Draw in the far circle of the Wranglers zone. Jack Ivy took it. Rhinos won it. Shot from the line is blocked by Ben Ivy. He looks to spur forward, but the Rhinos defense will get there in time. As the puck goes below the goal line, Walker will flip it over to Reed on the far corner. Go feed Germain behind the net. Wranglers almost got a steal as Ben Ivy was lurking, but the Rhinos escape and move out to center. Left wing entry by Pellerine. Swings it down low looking for Schepler. Kruklitis is there to meet him. Puck bounces towards the far side to Reed, who wraps it down low for Schepler. Wranglers defensively get a steal. Ben Ivy with it on the far half wall, banks it off the boards. Jack McDonald at the red line. He'll shovel it down to the Rhinos zone. Wranglers get a change. 16:45 to go in the first period. Rhinos re-enter on the right wing. He's going around the net. Up to the left side is Tefelsky. They'll find LaBelle behind the net. Exchanges with Zarski below the left circle. He takes a shot. McNaughton gets a defensive stick in the way. Puck flutters over towards the near side wall. Wranglers will exit as McNaughton finds Budik at center ice. They'll backhand it in for the dump in. Lovulo meets the puck behind the Rhino cage. Pukkanen is there, looks to get a steal. He's met by Zarski in the corner. Puck squeaks over to Budik. He works it up to the left point for Troutwine, who flings it towards the slot. And it goes onto the tape of Torrey Lund, who quickly moves in transition. He has LaBelle on the left wing. Looks to return it to Lund below the goal line. Gagnon there defensively. Tries to wedge Lund away from the puck. Troutwine is there to help out as well. As it's a 3-on-2. Wranglers are there. Puck fluttered towards the blue paint. McDonough paddled it away, and it goes onto the stick of Troutwine and up to the left point. Hiltonen turns the puck over in the slot. Wranglers will tap it back to the Rhinos defense and get a partial change. El Paso stretch pass onto the tape of Coughlin. Tries to drop it off for Triggs. Magnus Skadowski was able to sniff it out and send Zap the other way. He takes a shot that's blocked by Germain. Puck tumbles into the far corner. Wranglers look to keep possession. As Pellerine works it up the near side wall and all the way back down into the Wranglers zone, where it'll be picked up by Henry McRoberts. McRoberts on the right wing. Slides it up the wall, takes a couple skips, goes right to Lovulo, and he will hold it 4 minutes and 57 seconds into the first period. And so the draw will be on the far circle of the Rhinos zone. Wranglers get some fresh bodies out there. Morris, Abrant, and Phillips are your forwards. 2 D-men, Kruklitis and DeMarco. Morris will take the draw against Bolduc. Bolduc wins it, but Morris raced after the puck and was able to tip it over to Abrant. Abrant in the near corner, jostling with 2 Rhinos. As El Paso will work it free, that's Tim Mathis. Moving it corner to corner, and now Arias will skate it back towards the near side. With speed, he flies down the right wing. Burrows his way deeper into Wrangler territory. Exchanges with Bezier. Although nobody was there. And so the Rhinos will retreat back into their own end and start their next breakout. Pellerine across to Bezier. Make that Bolduc as he looks to drop it off for Bezier. Gets Pellerine, he flings it towards the blue paint. Wranglers get a block, send it below the goal line. Now Kruklitis up the left wing. Now to Morris. And at center ice, the Rhinos get possession back. With 14:08 to go in the first period. Wranglers knock the puck off the stick of Jack Ivy and in deep. Worley Phillips giving chase. Wranglers get a partial change behind the scenes. Rhinos turn up ice and go the other way. As A.J. Reed will swat it down low, looking for Shepler. Gagnon gets there first. As Reed gets it back on the near wall, they'll send it across the ice to the left point for Mathis. Harshly off the end wall and off the shoulder of McDonough. It goes into possession of Walker. To the right side, a shot there is fought off by McDonough and jumped off the side of the net. Rhinos keep possession. His left side, Walker a sharp angle try, and a man was there in the crease, and McDonough shut him down. I believe that was Eddie Shepler looking for his second of the game, and the Wranglers netminder was on high alert to make the stop. Rhinos lead 1-0. They lead the shot count 4-1. 13-14 and counting remain in the first as McDonald enters on the left wing. Sachets by a Rhino. Shot from the left side goes off the outside of the cage, and the Rhinos will pick up the loose puck and again start another breakout in transition. Right wing centering feed goes by Mason LaBelle. It'll be picked up by Puukkonen on the far side wall. Wranglers look to send it across to the other side of the ice for McNaughton and get to work offensively. Rhinos are quick to pick it away, and again the transition game taking shape. So here comes Paavo Hiltunen. Left side LaBelle to Lund. Backhand try. McDonough the save in close quarters. The Wranglers netminder stoned Tori Lund cold. And with 12:40 to go in the first period, it's still just a 1-0 game. Although at this point, it seems like all the offensive chances have come the Rhinos' way. This is kind of reminiscent of what we saw in the second period last night. The Wranglers need to find a way to turn the tide quickly and do it soon. As right now, it's been about all Rhinos. Is drawn to the left of McDonough on the near circle. Is won by the Wranglers. Puck goes careening into the near corner. El Paso, for the moment, looks to have gotten it back. The Wranglers quickly shut that down and spring up ice. Kruklidis, the big D-man on the right wing, will pump it behind Lavulo. Rhinos having trouble exiting. Trace Day on the forecheck. Looks to hem El Paso in their own ends. But now the Rhinos finally get back out to center. Jacob Germain will pick it up for El Paso behind his goaltender, Lavulo. Germain will move it forward towards the Wranglers zone. McDonough out to play it. He'll paddle it along towards the near side and connect with Day at center ice, where he'll backhand chop it towards Lavulo. On the left wing, Day a shot as Lavulo played the puck back towards the Wranglers forward. Lavulo made the save on a quick fire from the left wing. That's the kind of player Trace Day is. His shot is dangerous. If you give him time, he's going to take those shots. Bouncing puck of the Rhino blue line, fielded by Hiltunen. 11:30 to go in the first period. Stretch passes offline for Arias. Puck goes off a stick and into the open arms of McDonough. He'll freeze it down with 11:27 to go in the first period and send us to our first media timeout. It's the Rhinos 1 and the Wranglers nothing with 11:27 to go in the first period. We'll be back in just a moment on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Wranglers wearing their specialty jerseys this weekend. Canadian tuxedo is the theme. Wranglers head coach Austin Sutter and assistant coach Connor Yanni sporting some pretty cool looking cowboy hats on the Wranglers bench. Looks like both opted to go with black. At least it looks like black from a distance, although it could be a very dark brown. Either way, very sharp look for the Wranglers. Two bench bosses behind the bench for Amarillo. Draw to the left of McDonough on the near circle. We get a false start on that draw, so we'll do it again. 11:27 remaining in the first period. Rhinos scored the opening goal of the game just 1 minute and 1 second into the contest, courtesy of Eddie Shepler. Wranglers get the puck off the draw from center red. Morley Phillips will hack it down deep. Going to work is Luke Morris, racing after the puck. Rhinos got a stick on it. Try and help it on its way along the far side wall. Bolduc peels back, moves it D to D. Now the Rhinos will turn the puck over off an errant pass. Puck rolls in towards Lavulo. He gloves it down. Wranglers will get another shot on goal, their second of the game. 10:55 to go in the first. Drawn to the right of Lavulo on the near circle. Morris will take it for the Wranglers. Gets the puck to the left point. TJ Ritchie flings it towards the net, and it goes off the crossbar and stays out. TJ Ritchie just inches away from getting his first goal in the North American Hockey League and tying the game up at 1. It's a game of inches, folks. Wranglers with the puck in their own end. It's Ritchie once more over center red. He'll dump it in and head towards the bench for a change. Really good shift there. Getting the puck back for the Wranglers with the steal behind the net is Phillips. To left circle, a shot there by Ben Ivey. Goes off a body and out of play. 10:27 to go in the first. Some really good looks for the Wranglers on that last shift. This could be some building blocks offensively for the Wranglers. About the midway point here in the first period. And so far to this point, not a whole lot going on offensively for Amarillo. Hopefully, over the last couple of shifts, the Wranglers have built some confidence. And they can get their first goal of the game. Drawn to the right of Lavulo. Ben Ivey will take it against Torrey Lund. Ben wins the draw harshly off the boards, gets it back on the left side for McDonald. A backhand shot goes off the side of the net. Play moves over towards the far half wall. McDonald takes a shot from there. Low save for Lavulo. Goes right into his catching glove. He'll hang on to it with 10:13 to go in the first. Draw in the far circle of the Rhinos zone. Ben Ivey to take it against Bradley Walker. DeMarco and Kuklitis, two D-men for the Wranglers. McDonald diving, tries to keep the puck in the Rhinos zone, but El Paso goes the other way. But it is quickly shut down as the El Paso Rhinos are offside on the entry. That'll stop the clock with 10:06 to go in the first. So the draw will be right in front of the Wranglers bench, right in front of Austin Sutter. Wranglers first line staying out there. As Rhinos come away with the puck off the draw, Pellerine will hurl it towards the net from center. McDonough will eat it up and hold on to it with 10:01 to go in the first. So a couple quick whistles here to slow things down. Draw will be to the left of McDonough on the near circle. And this is something that we kind of saw happen a couple times last night, where we had these periods of time where it looked like everybody was getting a line rush one way or the other. And then you had some moments where the game just really turned into a slugfest with a ton of whistles. On the far wall, Walker will move it down low. Rhinos work it back over to Germain on the near side. Puck goes into the crease. McDonough gets a paw on it. Puck was still loose, but the official lost sight of the puck and blew the whistle. And now we get a scrum afterwards as Jack McDonald in the thick of it. Looks like he's going up against A.J. Reed, linesman. Looks like both the linesmen. Right in the middle trying to break it up, and they are successful in doing so. And again, time stops, 9:42 left in the first period. Both teams will get a line change. Rhinos top line of Tefelsky, Lund, and LaBelle will step out there. Wranglers' newly formed line of Pukkanen, Budik, and McNaughton. jumps over the bench for the Wranglers. And McNaughton will take this face off against Tori Lund on the near circle. Puck goes off the boards into the right point and right into the gullet of McDonough as the shot was taken by Luke Lindsay. And so again, we stop. 9:38 left in the first period in a game where the Rhinos lead 1-0. The shot count right now is 8-3 in favor of El Paso. Puck is dropped. Defelsky with it at the half wall, working against Troutwine. LaBelle behind the net to the corner for Lund. He centers. McDonough gets a stick on it to poke it away. Now at center ice, the Wranglers look to move up as McNaughton burrows his way deep into the Rhinos zone. Takes a check at the end boards. Budik swats at the puck, moves it back down low. Lund reverses it to the neutral zone. And now Defelsky will get things started for the Rhinos. He moves it to the left wing for LaBelle. He plugs it back down low for Defelsky. Make that Lund. As the puck goes into the possession of Nolan Gagnon, Rhinos will take this opportunity to get a line change. Fans take up a "Let's Go Wranglers" chant. Wranglers still looking for their first goal of the game. Day on the left wing gets bottled up on the zone entry. El Paso with the puck. Spurs up ice. Ryan Ginger, the former Wrangler, slides his way along the left wing, moves it corner to corner. Centering feed by Coughlin gets shut down by the stick of TJ Ritchie. Rhinos continue to possess the puck. Is swerving away from traffic in the far corner is Ginger. Puck goes off a stick and onto the tape of Roman Zapp. He wanted Godowski up ahead. Pellerin got a stick on it. Puck is back in the Wranglers zone. Amarillo moves it D to D. Henry McRoberts will force it back out to the neutral zone. Rhinos with it now. As Pellerin in his zone ends. Move it towards the near side for Germain. He spurs a man into motion as Bolduc takes a shot that goes wide. There's a nifty shot there from Medrick Bolduc. Just didn't hit the mark. Bolduc gets it back at center ice. Finds Arias over the attacking line. He'll shoot. It's blocked by TJ Ritchie, who's having a monster game so far. They'll move Abraham into motion. Wranglers get a partial change and start their next offensive breakout. Although it doesn't last for very long as the Rhinos move the puck back out to center. Wranglers feed it back into Rhino territory. It'll be picked up by Tristan Zarski, who gets crunched on the inboards by Morley Phillips. Puck battle in the corner. Phillips kicks it skate to stick, moves corner to corner on the far side, flings it towards the blue paint, and the Wranglers just couldn't jar it home. Luke Morris was there. Morris keeps it in the attacking zone. Rhinos are able to get it back out to center ice after Morris couldn't keep it in with his glove. Wranglers get the puck back and enter. Left wing, Kruklidis shoots, and a save made by Lavulo. With a burst of speed, Kruklidis was there. Wranglers with possession. Right point to Marco, a blast. Wide of the net, Kruklidis keeps it in. Centering feed from below the net goes into the possession of the Rhinos as Germain banks it off the wall and back out to center. That was easily the Wranglers' best shift offensively so far tonight. On the right wing is Tori Lund centering. LaBelle try. Big block by Kyle DeMarco to keep the puck away from Connor McDonough. And now you see the Wranglers starting to get some life here, although the Rhinos looking to go right back on the attack. As Tori Lund at center ice dances his way into the Wranglers zone. On the left wing, pulls up, looks for a trailer. They'll backhand toss it towards the Wrangler net. Puck is directed towards the far corner. Defelsky with it, looks to play the cross. Pass is intercepted by Jack Ivey. He quickly scurries ahead to the right side. It's McDonald, and he takes a low hit into the boards on the far side, and the Rhinos will jam the puck back out to center ice. Ben Ivey on the re-entry, working against Germain. Digs his way deep. Centers McDonald there, and he couldn't get a shot off. Nice defense there by Pellerin. Now in transition, the Rhinos get a try. As down low is Shepler. He moves it to Reed. Shepler gets blasted by Gagnon. Wranglers steal the puck back. And now they head up ice as McNaughton loses an edge. Puck goes onto the stick of the Rhinos. El Paso will settle it down for a bit with 5:24 to go in the first, as they will hurl the puck into the Wranglers bench and stop time with 5:23 in the clock. It gives us a little bit of a breather, as it was some high-flying action in the last couple of minutes. Out of all that, no scoring. Shot count is 9-4 in favor of El Paso in a game where the Rhinos still lead 1-0. The draw will be right in front of the Rhino bench. Wranglers come away with it. Pukkanen had his stick held by Coughlin, otherwise he would have had the puck and a good chance moving forward. Instead, it's El Paso jamming their way deep into the Wranglers zone. Triggs around the net, looks for Coughlin. Puck jumped over his stick. Henry McRoberts will field it behind Connor McDonough. Find Budik, and he'll connect with McNaughton upwards. Good passing by the Wranglers. Is on the right wing. It's Semenyuk from Pukkanen. Returns it to Pukkanen. In the slot, he shoots, and oh, what a save by Lavulo! He had a screen out in front of him by McNaughton, and somehow he got a piece of the puck. Point blank, Topi Pukkanen was there, and Lavulo comes up with a huge save. Rhinos get a line change. Wranglers get a partial one. 4:30 to go in the first period. Wranglers dump it back into Rhino territory, complete the line change as Luke Lindsay on the near side connects with Bolduc, and now the Rhinos are off and running. Left side, Arias looks to center, goes off a stick, and the Wranglers pick it up. 2-on-2 here. Is Zap, darts towards the middle, looks to find a trailer, but the puck was tapped away from his stick, and now Bolduc will scurry forward. Wranglers are tight defensively. They make the stop, but it comes at the expense of the game's first penalty. Looks like El Paso is headed to the power play. And though I spoke too soon, looks like the way Kyle DeMarco reacted, it looked like the penalty was going to be on the Wranglers, but instead it's Amarillo that goes to the power play, as it's Medrick Bolduc going to the penalty box. My apologies, looks like I spoke too soon. But for the Wranglers, it's all good news. And so it looked to me like Kyle DeMarco looking up to the rafters as in like, oh man, are you kidding me? Instead, it was actually him getting high-sticked by Bolduc. As Bolduc takes a seat for 2 minutes, Wranglers have the third best power play in the league, 22.4% against the Rhinos. Penalty kill, 80.2%, 21st. His right side Gagnon's shot is blocked by Schepler. He'll pick it up and send it down the distance for an opening Rhino clear. And this is the Wranglers' first power play chance of the weekend. They did not have a power play opportunity in last night's game. Wranglers looking to tie the game up. Ben Ivy gains the blue line. Puck gets caught up between a couple skates on the near side wall. The Rhinos dig it free and will mail it all the way back down to McDonough for another clear. 35 seconds and change burned off on the penalty to Bolduc. Wranglers start their next breakouts. Jack Ivy with speed, drops it off for a trailing Roman Zap. He enters, stops at the point, finds Gagnon center line. At the left wing, he connects with Ben Ivy. Back to Gagnon. Now at the right point, it's Jack Ivy. Over to Gagnon, left point. He'll shoot. Lavulo the save. Zap is there, tries to jam it home, and they blow the whistle, and play is stopped. Lavulo didn't appear to have the puck. Now afterwards, we get another scrum. Jack McDonald right in the thick of it. Alexander Pellerine there as well. Time is stopped with 3:07 to go in the first period. Wranglers inching closer to tie the shot count. It's 9-7 in favor of El Paso right now, and the Wranglers trying to tie the game up at 1. And now looks like there's an altercation between McDonald and Pellerine in front of the Rhinos bench. Limesman was skating as fast as he could to try and break that up. McDonald's going to stay out there. His helmet came off after all of that. And so he'll put it back on. Actually, no, it looks like he's not going to stay out there. He's just picking up a loose piece of equipment. And now he'll head back to the Wranglers bench. 1:02 remaining on the Wranglers power play. They've cooked up some pretty good things so far. Second power play unit is out there. Luke Morris will take the draw. He's out there with Pukkanen, McNaughton, Troutwine, and DeMarco. As they get the net put back on, draw will be to the right of Joe Lavulo on the near circle of the Rhino zone. Morris will take it against Walker. Contested puck. Kept him by the Wranglers at the line. DeMarco took a hit. And now the Rhinos get the loose puck. And they'll mail it back down to McDonough for another clear. That puck was way up into the air. Had a lot of hang time. DeMarco was initially able to bat it in. The Rhinos were able to force it out to center ice. So here's Morris on the re-entry. On the right wing, looks to center for McNaughton. It goes off a stick into the netting with 2:38 to go in the first. Still 33 seconds of power play time left on the Wranglers' first power play of the weekend. No line change for the Wranglers. Torrey Lund will take the draw against McNaughton. Troutwine and DeMarco, the two D-men for the Wranglers. As El Paso gets the puck off the draw, they'll bank it off the wall and all the way down to the Wranglers zone. Maybe one last chance for the Wranglers on the power play if they hurry. As this DeMarco from behind McDonough, he emerges right down Broadway. He finds McNaughton, he'll dish it to his left for Troutwine. The return pass connects with McNaughton in the corner, although the Rhinos try and bump him off the puck. Torrey Lund diving is successful in getting the clear, and that'll pretty much do it to the penalty for Bolduc. As on the left wing, McNaughton enters on a stretch pass. His shot goes wide of the net, held in by Ben Ivey. He's on the right wing, Ben down low. Connects with Pukanen, centering feed, McNaughton's shot is blocked, and now the Rhinos will exit. Left wing entry, it's Bolduc, knifes his way towards the middle. His shot goes off a stick of Semeniuk and over the cage. Rhinos keep possession. As at the left point, Hilton in a one-timer. Didn't get a lot of heat on it, easily sticked away by McDonough. Semeniuk with it. Evading the forecheck of Bolduc. Will sauce it over to Pukanen. Finish forward, will return it to Semeniuk. He'll fire it off the stick of McDonald. And down deep, McDonald, hot pursuit. Evades Luke Lindsay, gets the puck back. That's going to draw a penalty with 1:21 to go in the first. And now McDonald will head to the penalty box. Rhinos will get their first chance on the power play tonight. McDonald trying to argue his case. He's going to need a better lawyer, as he'll take a seat. With 1:21 to go in the first, 2 minutes for cross-checking. So the Rhinos will get their first power play of the night. Rhinos went 0 for 2 on the power play in yesterday's contest. El Paso's power play, 6th best in the league, operating at 21%. And the Wranglers' penalty kill, top 10 unit, 83.2%. 9th best in the North American Hockey League. Draw will be to the right of McDonough on the far circle. Torrey Lund will take it against Jack Ivey. Lund will win it. And the Rhinos get to work. Is at the left point, Hilton and fumbles the puck, and so Wranglers catch a break. Rhinos will have to start from their own end. Lund, with speed, enters the Wrangler end, dishes it towards his left for Hiltonen. A backup at the line, it's Germain. In the far corner, it's Lund. Up to the left point, Hiltonen. To his right, has Germain. He whips a shot wide of the net. Lund picks it up on the far half wall. Back up top, it's Hiltonen. He'll walk the line. Paavo Hiltonen to Torrey Lund. He shoots, and it goes off a stick and wide. Rhinos keep possession. Hiltonen at the right point. Finds a man on the wall. Now down low, centering feed is intercepted by Jack Ivey, and he will get the clear. 25 seconds and counting remain in the first period. Wranglers penalty kill doing good work as the Rhinos were lurking. Under 20 seconds to go. El Paso hurrying as Luke Lindsay enters. His centering pass is gloved down by Morris, and Morris will get the clear. And that will pretty much do it for the first period. And so the Rhinos lead 1-0 after the first. They will have 39 seconds of power play time to work with at the opening stages of the second period. As just 1 goal was scored in the first. It belonged to Eddie Shepler to give the Rhinos a 1-0 lead, and that is where we stand after 20 minutes. Coming up next, the first intermission report brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. We'll recap all the events of the first period, look ahead towards the second period, and also take a look at some scores from around the South Division and talk about what the playoff picture looks like now that the final seed in the South Division has been claimed. talk about all that when we come back in just a couple minutes on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back to the Budweiser bullpen, where after 20 minutes of play, it's the El Paso Rhinos 1 and the Amarillo Wranglers nothing. As I'm Guy Chiarenza here from downtown Amarillo, bringing you all the action as we welcome you inside the Budweiser bullpen for the first intermission report presented by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. Well, it did not take long for the game to get its opening goal, as just 1 minute and 1 second into the contest, it was Eddie Scheffler putting home the game's first shot into the back of the net. As Bradley Walker and Jacob Germain get the assist on the goal, and that's the only goal that was scored in the first period. As El Paso really seemed to have their game earlier on in the first period. It was all Rhinos offensively to begin the game. The Wranglers found a way to shut that down and kind of get some chances of their own towards the end of the first period. Both teams at this point have had a crack at it on the power play. Wranglers 0 for 1. Rhinos are currently in the middle of their first power play chance. Left 39 seconds of power play time to work with to begin the second period. And then Jack McDonald will come out of the box. So far, special teams not playing a big factor. And that was really the theme the last time that these two teams met here at the Budweiser bullpen, was special teams. But this weekend, it's really been non-existent, been a non-factor. There were just 2 penalties last night, and both were against the Wranglers. Wranglers penalty kill went 2 for 2 last night. So I think earlier on in the game, it was really apparent that the Rhinos had come to play. They were really from the get-go, and were really trying to implement their game, really just picked up where they left off last night. They were able to get a goal from it, as the Rhinos did what they do best, entered the zone, pulled up at the top of one of the circles, looked for a trailer. That man was Eddie Schepler, and his shot went into the near corner on NATV by McDonough for the game's only goal to that point. And it was a pretty nice goal by El Paso, and that's how they'll burn you. That's how they do it. And we saw that plenty of times last night. El Paso with the 5 goals and the 5-2 victory. I want to say maybe 3 times. That's how Wranglers got burnt. And so it looks like ever since that point, Amarillo was ready for it. They got a lot better at defending what the Rhinos were throwing at them, and in turn started to get some chances of their own offensively. And I think the first period wasn't a bad period for the Wranglers. Kind of took them a little bit of time to settle into the period and start to play their game as opposed to playing the Rhinos style of play. I think if you're the Wranglers, you would have liked to have been able to do that right off the hop, but it was a nice bounce back from the Wranglers after letting in the first goal of the game on the first shot. Amarillo settled into the first period nicely. Got a couple of good chances on their own. Kind of built momentum, got a power play, but big saves by Lavulo. Was able to keep the puck out of the Rhinos' net. Wrangler held scoreless in the first period. But we do know that the Wranglers are poised for what we have coined the second period surge. As time and time again this season, the Wranglers have shown us that something is said in the locker room between period 1 and period 2. And the Wranglers in the second period just come out and start scoring goals. As the Wranglers in the first period, not much of a scoring team, although they have gotten better as of late. That Colorado trip helped. Wranglers now have 36 goals in the first period. But you look at the second and third periods, 58 in second period on the season, 61 in the third on the year. Wranglers are much better as the game goes on. And I really thought that the play throughout the course of the first period kind of became indicative of that, as it looked like the Wranglers had a really slow start, heated up as the period went on. And so that gives me belief that if the Wranglers are able to kill this penalty off at the beginning of the second period, then look out, because this is a Wranglers team that is buzzing in front of a packed home crowd. They're wearing specialty jerseys. It's a big weekend, not to mention what's at stake in terms of the seeding in the South Division playoff race. There's a lot going on here tonight. There's a lot at stake tonight, and I think the Wranglers understand the magnitude of the moment. They're starting to rise to the occasion, and I really truly believe that in the second period, the Wranglers are poised for an offensive breakout. As we have seen that the Wranglers have been able to score against the Rhinos time and time again this season, so I think the Wranglers just need to solve the formula that Joe Coombs is throwing at them. If they're able to do that, then they'll be just fine. They should have a lot of momentum on their side with a crowd that's buzzing to begin period 2. And so I think the other thing about the penalty, one more note on that as we move on into the programming here in the first intermission. Sometimes we've seen, and you see it more often on power plays than penalty kills, but sometimes you see that at the end of a power play, if the team doesn't score, they still generate a lot of momentum, and it's in the moments after that, the shifts after that, that you see teams get goals from time to time. Now, I believe that the same thing can also be said about penalty kills. Now, it's not as common as a power play, but I do believe that a solid penalty kill can give you a little bit of juice, a little bit of momentum into the next couple of shifts, and in turn give you that momentum moving forward and help you get that goal afterwards. So I think that could be something to look out for here at the top of the second period, because from intermission you got a lot of fan festivities going on. Fans are jazzed up, plays coming back, and so the Wranglers are able to take that energy and kill the penalty and collect all that and kind of have that electrify them here at the start of the second period. Look out for a Wrangler goal here within the first 3 to 5 minutes of the first period if Amarillo is to get one. Now, there's still time to make your pick to click as who you think is going to get the Wranglers' first goal of the game. We talked about it in the pregame that there's a lot of line shuffling going on here tonight. And so you got some guys playing with different line mates, guys that they're not used to playing with. And so it's an interesting layout from Austin Sutter here tonight. And, I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of liking the chemistry that was starting to develop towards the end of the first period. You can make your pick in our YouTube live chat. You can also make your pick on one of our game day posts on all of our social media platforms. I think, and it's kind of cheating because we do get a little bit of time after the first period to see, who's the hot hand right now. But I'm going to go with Ben Ivey. I think I have to go with Ben Ivey. I mean, he's just been electric ever since his return to the lineup. 3 goals and 4 assists in his last 6 games. Ben's playing some great hockey right now. He looked like he was ready there in the first period. He got better as the first went on, as all the Wranglers did. Give me Ben Ivey as my pick to get the Wranglers' first goal of the game. He's my pick to click. And once again, you can make your pick on our social media platforms. Make sure you give us a follow. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on YouTube as well. Give us a subscribe there. We're also on TikTok as well. Make sure you follow us on all of our platforms because we got some good content cooking up here over the final weeks of the season. I will tell you this. Henry McRoberts and Grayson Gerhard met the Easter Bunny at Westgate Mall. Check that out on our YouTube channel. That's why you got to follow us, man. Great content week in and week out. We also have a mic'd up episode coming up next week. So you got to be there. You got to subscribe. You got to click the bell. You got to follow us on all of our social media channels to find out what we're going to do next. When we come back on the first intermission report presented by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, we'll look at some scores from around the league. We'll also keep a careful eye on the New Mexico Ice Wolves as their game has gone final. Also talk playoff picture as it's a busy night in the North American Hockey League. All that and a whole lot more when we come back on the first intermission report on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back to the Budweiser Bullpen. First intermission report. Wranglers down by 1. El Paso has the lead. Wranglers will be on the penalty kill to start the second period as it's a big night here at the Budweiser Bullpen. We're all decked out in Canadian tuxedos, myself included, as it's denim on denim. That's the theme of the weekend. Wranglers wearing their specialty jerseys that will be auctioned off at the end of tonight. It's a sharp look, and I dig it. As there's a lot at stake here tonight, aside from the festivities, as it is the 57th game of the season for the Wranglers. After this, just 3 remain, and that'll be 2 weeks from now when the Colorado Grit come to town. So we'll take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard and then talk about what the playoff picture is looking like right now, as it's starting to take shape. As over at Greeley Ice House, final there, the New Mexico Ice Wolves win 3-2 in overtime. So what that means right now is El Paso has 3rd place. New Mexico has 4th place, as the Ice Wolves now have 68 points on the season. The Wranglers have 68. So that would mean if the season ended today and this game's score held final and the Wranglers were to lose, the Wranglers would be going to Outpost Ice Arenas for the play-in round. And that's something that you do not want to do. That's a tough place to play in, as it's at a very high altitude. So not ideal for the Wranglers. That's why winning this game here tonight, winning games this weekend, and against Colorado in 2 weeks is so important, because you don't want to play on the road in the play-in. But as it stands right now, New Mexico has sole possession of 4th spot in the South Division. Now, here's what I've learned, is if the Wranglers and the Ice Wolves are to end up in a tie, and they've got nearly identical records, so it is possible. Wranglers just 2 points back now of New Mexico. Should they tie, the Wranglers do have the tiebreaker, because the Wranglers have more head-to-head points against New Mexico this season. They split 2-2, but because the Wranglers lost one of those games in overtime, that's why the Wranglers have that tiebreaker, and that's going to be huge, because all the other tiebreakers, the Wranglers don't own any of them. Regulation wins, that goes to New Mexico. Regulation overtime wins, New Mexico has that as well. Goal differential, everything else favors New Mexico. So for Amarillo, really all I got to do is find a way to tie, as I do believe that tiebreaker is head-to-head points. As last week, the Wranglers and Ice Wolves have been tied, and the Wranglers have owned the tiebreaker, although New Mexico does have one more game remaining on their schedule than the Wranglers do. So it's a big game here tonight. And right now, everybody in the South Division has either been eliminated or punched their ticket to the playoffs. With Oklahoma's loss in overtime last night, they picked up a point. Odessa lost to Shreveport in regulation. The Jacks are out. The dream is dead. Odessa will not be making the postseason, and so your 6 are set. Lone Star, Shreveport, El Paso, Amarillo, New Mexico, and Oklahoma are all going to the dance. Now, in what order? We're not sure, and that's what we're trying to find and get some clarity on with the outcome of tonight's game. So the Wranglers are still in contention for 3rd place in the division, but with a loss here tonight, the Wranglers will be out of the running for 3rd place, as they are 8 points back of El Paso. And afterwards, the Wranglers will only have 3 games left. Wranglers would own that tiebreaker against the Rhinos in head-to-head points, but they've got a long way to get there, and it starts with a win here tonight. So the field is set. We just need to find out what the seeding will be and who's going where. Tonight will tell us a lot about what that will look like in a couple of weeks for the play-in round of the Robertson Cup Playoffs. As we're approaching second period action here in Amarillo, the Zamboni making its final lap. And we'll step aside one final time on the first intermission report, brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. It's the Rhinos 1 and the Wranglers nothing. Second period action is set to start in just a couple of moments. We'll be back for it in just a couple of minutes on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NETV and YouTube. We are just about set for second period action here in downtown Amarillo. Both teams back out on the ice for the second period. Rhinos will skate from right to left wearing their white jerseys. Wranglers from left to right as you see it on NATV. And your mind's eye will see it on YouTube as we paint a picture for you here on our audio feed. Wranglers wearing a one-of-a-kind jersey. Kind of tough to describe. Best thing I can tell you is to look up Canadian tuxedo on Google. That'll give you a pretty good look. Or you could also follow us on our social media platforms and check out the jersey reveal there. Now there's a good look for you, as it's a denim on denim kind of look, brown belt with a red handkerchief around the neck. Really cool look. We're going to auction those off after the game on what has been a fun-filled weekend here at the Budweiser bullpen. Wranglers looking to end the weekend with 2 points in their back pocket and remain in contention for third place in the South Division. Wranglers on the penalty kill for the next 39 seconds to begin the second period as Ben Ivy wins an opening draw. And so it's an early clear for the Wranglers. Jacob Germain on a fresh sheet of ice. Looks to start things for El Paso in the waning moments of their power play. Under 30 seconds to go on that as Defelski enters on the right wing. He'll swoop behind the net. Troutwine is there to meet him, make it Jack Ivy as the Rhinos keep possession up to the left point. It'll be settled down by Hiltonen. We'll move it across for Germain. A snapper is gobbled up by McDonough as Jacob Germain had a lot of space on the right circle. Connor McDonough makes the save 30 seconds into the second and stops time with just 10 seconds to go on the penalty to Jack McDonald, who eagerly is looking over the side of the boards. He's ready to get out of there. He's had a lot of time to think about it in between periods. Look out for jumping Jack Flash in the second period. He's been on a heater as of late, as McDonald has 2 goals and 4 assists in his last 4 games. Draw in the far circle. Wranglers victorious. DeMarco heaves it towards the blue line. It evades the glove of Germain. Wranglers get the clear and kill out the penalty as well. Both teams start the night 0 for 1 on the power play. Wranglers back at full strength. Germain plays it upwards onto the stick of A.J. Reed. On the right wing, he's got Shepler. Now he'll feed Reed back on the near side wall. Rhinos reverse the puck behind the cage. Troutwine steps in and gets to the puck first. His battle for it at the half wall. Wranglers emerge victorious. In fact, Nick Troutwine and A.J. Reed were both taken in the same draft class by the El Paso Rhinos. That draft class in 2022 included a couple others as Pukanen goes the other way. Drop pass, Wranglers are there, they score! Connor McNaughton puts the puck home, and the Wranglers have tied the game up at 1. And there it is, that electric goal after the penalty kill. Wranglers score 1:21 into the second period. Connor McNaughton, it's his 13th goal of the season, assisted by Pukanen and DeMarco. Wranglers have tied it up early here in the second period. Just 1 minute and 21 seconds into the second frame. So, hey, call me a genius, call me a genie, call me a sightseer, what you will, but did I not just predict that in the first intermission? The Wranglers did exactly what we said that they needed to do in the first intermission. Got the penalty kill, got the momentum with the crowd screaming in their favor. Wranglers go the other way and get their first goal of the night. And so they'll look to get another. Puck up for grabs at center ice. Rhinos from their own blue line will shovel it forward and get to work. As Arias moves it corner to corner for Bezier. Bolduc with it on the near side, getting hounded by Trace Day. Hangs onto the puck, finds Zarski right wing. His slap shot kicked away by McDonough, and Arias couldn't rip the shot on goal on the rebound. Puck stays in the Wranglers zone. At the right point, it's Zarski. He'll flip it towards the corner. It's gloved down by Bezier. We'll find Bolduc spinning and swerving away from the heat. Moves towards his backhand, centers it for Coughlin. His shot is eaten up by McDonough. A low line drive, no problem for number 1. As McDonough makes the save and stops time with 17:51 to go in the second period. So the Wranglers got their chance early on. They converted, got the game-tying goal. Rhinos trying to get their 1-goal lead back. Connor McDonough said, nope, not going to happen. We're still tied up at 1. Off the draw, puck goes into the corner. Wranglers will swat it out to center ice. Rhinos quickly shift back onto Wrangler territory as the puck gets bunched up between a couple of guys in front of the El Paso bench. It'll work its way towards McDonough. He helps it along towards the near side wall. Rhinos from the left point, shot. Stopped by McDonough on Paavo Hiltonen. Triggs emerges from the near corner. He'll swoop behind the net. Centering pass on his backhand for Coughlin, and McDonough stones him cold. A couple big sequences for Connor McDonough in the last minute or so. Keeps the Rhinos from getting their second of the night. Now in deep is Morris. Looks to center it for Phillips. Rhinos get a defensive stick in the way, and now they'll spring back up ice. That's center red. Morley Phillips gets the puck and blasts a man in open ice. That was Triggs feeling the full force of big Morley Phillips. And from the right point, he'll dump it in deep. Luke Lindsay will heave it off the far side glass and back out into the Wranglers zone. Rhinos get it clear, but no change. Well, now they get a partial one. And stepping in is Ben Ivey. Left side shot up and over the cage. Lindsay got his stick in the way. Stops time with 16:37 left in the second period. It's the period of the long change, so for the Wranglers, more sustained offensive zone time means a lot of tired Rhinos, and the Wranglers, if they play it right, can get some fresh bodies on. So big draw here to the right of Lavulo on the far circle. Ben Ivey against Bradley Walker. You get a whistle that delays us for a bit. Now looks like we're good to go. As they'll drop the puck. Puck goes towards the wall. Jack Ivey finds Ben Ivey. The Wranglers look to get to work. He's up at the left point. Kruklides looks to keep it in. Moving by him is Shepler. Potential 2-on-1. Shepler shooting. Save made by McDonough, and he kicks it over towards the near side. Rhinos keep the puck in. As DeMarco will pry it away from Shepler and hurl the puck back out to center. Sneaky chance for the Rhinos on a line rush. Wranglers able to keep the puck out again. Tefelsky dishes it towards his left. Centering feed back to Tefelsky, goes off a skate. Play moves into the far corner. Walker behind the net, backhand try, goes off a skate. McDonough couldn't decide whether or not he went to cover it or play it. And now gets a chance. The puck boomerangs back to him. He makes no mistake that time. He freezes with 15:48 to go in the second. And Connor McDonough has really stolen the show over the last couple of minutes. Rhinos knocking on the door. They weren't too happy that the Wranglers scored in the opening 2 minutes of the second period. Trying to get that goal back and give themselves the lead once again. But number 1 in net has been as advertised. He's been awesome. A couple big saves from McDonough here in the early moments of the second. The draw will be to his left on the far circle. Torrey Lund will take it against Connor McNaughton. McNaughton wins the draw cleanly. Puck goes below the goal line. Wranglers get tied up. Rhinos get possession of the puck. It's Will Strickland on the far wall. He takes a check. Wranglers will just fling the puck back out to center ice. Now McNaughton moving in motion, looks to drive his way into the Rhinos zone. Strickland takes a big hit by Pukkanen right in front of the Wranglers bench. Rhinos move up ice. Good defensive play by the Wranglers. Forces El Paso to restart things from their own end. Torrey Lund over the red line to Tefelsky. He'll rainbow it over towards the near side for Mason LaBelle. Contested puck below the goal line, goes the Wranglers' way. Nolan Gagnon will skate the puck out of harm's way, although the puck gets knocked off his stick by Tefelsky and stays in the Wranglers' zone. Victor Budik is there to claim the puck for the Wranglers. And just now they get the puck out but it goes all the way down for an icing. 5 minutes and 13 seconds into the second period. Fans take up a "Let's Go Wranglers" chant. Face-off moves all the way back down into the Wranglers zone. Topi Pukkanen now has a balanced diet of 23 goals, 23 assists on the season for 46 points, as he's been really reliable and consistent for the Wranglers this season. As he picked up the primary assist on the McNaughton goal, Kyle DeMarco the secondary. DeMarco now has 18 assists on the season. That's a new career high for him. As at right point, Luke Lindsay off the draw, holds it in to the left side, snapshot. McDonough the save, and on the rebound, McNaughton will skate out of danger. He'll float it out towards the neutral zone. Hand pass stops time with 14:31 to go in the second period. Both teams get a line change. Medrick Bolduc and his line out there for the Rhinos. For the Wranglers, newly formed line of Zapp, Day, and Godowski. Take the draw right in front of the Wranglers bench. Rhinos win it. They'll set up shop as they knock it into the Wranglers zone. TJ Ritchie, first man on it, checks over his shoulder and evades a hit. Bolduc was crashing in on the forecheck. TJ Ritchie's having a really good game tonight. He's able to make the play and send the Wranglers into motion. Rhinos re-enter, but they're offside. 14:11 left in the second. And so we'll get a draw right in front of Joe Coombs and the Rhinos. And for Joe Coombs, in his second year behind the bench, I mean, what more can you ask for? He's got to be in the running for Coach of the Year. He's done an amazing job of leading this team from last year, a record of 18-38, 3-1 with just 40 points, to doubling the Rhino, or yeah, getting more wins than the Rhinos have had in the last 2 years combined, with a record of 34, 14, 4-2 this season. So you got to tip your cap to Joe Coombs and his assistant Josh Brown, both in their second year behind the bench. They've done an amazing job with this Rhinos team. Wranglers from their own end. Torrey Lund is lurking, but TJ Ritchie, who's having a monster game, keeps the puck on his stick and gets the Wranglers started offensively. Right wing entry. Abrant to the middle, and Morris gets a blindside check to the head. As he's down, looks like he's going to be all right as he tries to get up, but that does draw a penalty. And now afterwards, Torrey Lund, who made the hit, is getting mobbed. Pellerine as well. Wranglers trying to stick up for their teammate. Good news for Amarillo. Morris back up on 2 feet. But Lund is going to take a seat for what he just did. And there was no way Morris could have seen that coming. And so he was moving over the blue line, just received a pass, had his head down, looking towards the puck. Head contact is the call. 2 minutes to Torrey Lund. Wranglers head back to the power play. It'll be their second chance of the night. Wranglers 0 for 1 on the evening. Good chance for the Wranglers to take the lead after they tied up the game just a minute and 21 seconds in to the second period on the McNaughton goal. The Wranglers, when scoring a power play goal, are 18-8, 2-2 this season. So fortune favors the bold if you're able to take advantage of the advantage, I should say. The Wranglers have proven they're in pretty good shape. So Roman Zapp will get this started with a face-off against Bradley Walker, Ben Ivey, Jack Ivey out there for the Wranglers, as well as McDonald and Gagnon. Rhinos win the ensuing draw. Clearing attempt is held in. As centering feed, McDonald can't get a shot off. Ben Ivey gets the puck back behind Lavulo. Rhinos are able to dig it from his grasp, and now they will send it all the way down to McDonough for a clear. Nolan Gagnon starts the next charge. Over center red, he'll drop it back for Jack Ivey. He gains some steam on the right wing. Looks to go around the defender, gets high sticked. Pellerine was there. And we're going to draw a whistle. The net came off. Clock stops with 13:16 to go in the second as Jack Ivey, with a burst of speed, was charging down the right wing, got tangled up with Pellerine. Looks like there's going to be no other penalties, though. So it's still just Tori Lund in the box for the next minute and 27 seconds. The ensuing draw will be to the left of Lavulo on the near circle of the Wranglers zone. The same personnel for Amarillo stays out there, but for El Paso, they do get a change. A.J. Reed out there with Mathis, Stefelski, and Zarski. That's the quartet for El Paso on the next moment of the penalty kill. Zap to take it against Reed. Zap wins it, right point, Gagnon over to the left side. Jack Ivey snipes a shot over the goal and out of play. And Jack Ivey, talked with him a couple of weeks ago, watched that episode of Wranglers Weekly on our YouTube channel. I asked him, hey, what's been the magic formula for you this season? I mean, 30 goals. You had 12 last year. I mean, what's up with that? Just a stellar sophomore campaign. Kind of talked about having a bit of more of a shooter's mentality. He leads the team in shots by a pretty good margin this season, and you see it there. Now, another fun fact, Jack Ivey this season has scored against every other South Division team except for El Paso. He just needs to check this one off his list as he tries to hone down the franchise single-season goals record, a mark set 2 years ago when Kristaps Skrastins scored 36 in a single season. Jack Ivey just 6 goals away from tying that mark, and here he is at the left point. Quick pass to Ben Ivey at the line. Gagnon, the right point, to the left point, excuse me, for Jack Ivey. He'll drift in, center a pass. It goes behind McDonald. The Rhinos sniff it out and send it all the way back down to McDonough for a clear. No change for the Wranglers. They'll quickly move in motion. Delayed offside on Amarillo as the puck gets knocked out of play by McDonald on the zone entry. McDonald wants the face-off to be in the Rhinos zone. He's kind of reaching out, trying to keep his skate in the neutral zone, but Eagle Eye linesman said nope. Not this time. They're actually going to move this draw all the way back down to the far circle of the Wranglers zone. So that's a break for El Paso, who's still shorthanded for the next 55 seconds. As McNaughton will take the draw against Bradley Walker. Wranglers' second power play unit out there. McNaughton, Troutwine, DeMarco, Morris, and Pukinen. DeMarco charges up ice. Moves to the left wing for Troutwine. He'll plug it into the Rhino zone and get things started for the Wranglers. At the right point, DeMarco to the half wall for McNaughton. Back to DeMarco. He'll settle the puck down. He'll connect with Troutwine. Left point. Below the circle. Morris takes a try. Lavulo makes the save in close quarters, and the momentum on the rebound carries the puck all the way back down to McDonough. Under 20 seconds to go on the Wrangler power play. Maybe one last chance here before it expires. Nick Troutwine over center red. Pumps the puck back into the Rhinos' end. Morris meets it on the near half wall. He gets crunched by Mathis. Puck is held in by DeMarco. D to D. Left side. Troutwine a try. In and out of the glove of Lavulo. And there to get the rebound is Pellerine. Wranglers steal it back. Backhand try by Morris. Pad save Lavulo. And the Rhinos are back to even strength as Tori Lund, fresh out of the box, looks to get to work. McDonough comes well out of the crease to knock the puck off of the stick of Tori Lund and send the puck tumbling into the far corner. Troutwine digs it free with 11:27 left in the second period. He'll slow things down for a moment as he looks for an avenue to break out. Shot count is 17-12 in favor of El Paso. But it's 1-1 here at the Budweiser bullpen as we approach the midway point of the game. McDonald will swoop out towards his right. Look for Jack Ivey at center. He's got him. Jack will bank it down low to Lavulo. Wranglers look to get to work on the forecheck. As right point, Jack Ivey snaps a shot towards the goal. It boomerangs back to him. Puck is held in by the Wranglers, but the pass is intercepted by Stefelski. He looks to find Lund on the left wing, but a nice defensive play by Cole Semeniuk. Make sure that nothing happens. Wranglers send it almost the full length of the ice to Lavulo. Rhinos netminder will scarf the puck up and hang on with 10:43 to go in the second period. Wranglers tie the game. They go 1 minute and 21 seconds into the second period. Connor McNaughton's got his 13th of the season, and it's a brand new game. We'll be back in just a moment on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. The Rhinos are having a breakout season, their best in team history this year with a record of 34-14-4-2. They recently punched their first ticket to the Robertson Cup Playoffs just about a week ago. So the Rhinos will make their way to the dance. Part of it is because of some good drafting in the North American Hockey League draft over the last couple of years. Right before the Wranglers scored, I was talking about that 2022 draft class by the Rhinos. That featured Jacob McDonald, who's now at the Brahmas, Luke Morris, A.J. Reed, who's still at the Rhinos, and Nick Troutwine, who's with the Wranglers this season. So got a lot of really good guys coming out of that draft class. Only one of them still on the Rhinos roster. Two of them play for the Wranglers. As McDonald, off the draw, takes a right-wing shot that's blocked. He gets mobbed behind the net and now high-sticked. No penalty. Fans urging for the officials to make the call. They're not going to do it as the puck goes deep into the Wranglers' end. Henry McRoberts, who got into a fight last night, handles the puck for Amarillo. Rhinos come crashing in to steal the puck away. As at the right point, Germain can't hold the puck in. Pass had too much heat on it. Wranglers catch a break as the Rhinos have to reset. Ganowski on the forecheck. Helps the Wranglers get possession back. As the puck goes out of play on the zone entry with 10:04 to go in the second. In fact, Luke Morris and A.J. Reed were only taking 3 selections apart in that draft. Luke Morris has recently been paired up with Magnus Gadowski, although tonight, different story. Gadowski has found a home with Zapp and Day on a newly formed line. Draw will be right at the center ice logo. Zapp to take it against Ryan Ginger, and the German forward is victorious. In fact, he dumps Ginger on his keister. As the former Wrangler gets back up, puck goes deep into his own territory. Mathis off the wall, finds a man streaking upwards, and the Rhinos will get to work. He's over center red. Mathis will plug it into the Wrangler end. Right wing, Coughlin centering feed, and there to break it up is Kyle DeMarco. Another solid defensive play from number 2 for Amarillo. On the right wing, Trey Stage fires it towards the goal. Blocker saved by Lavulo, and the Rhinos sweep the puck away from between the circles. Wranglers buzzing here as Day below the goal line takes a check by Mathis, and the Rhinos D-man, who's selected in last summer's draft, will exit his own territory. 9:15 to go in the second period. Puck in front of the Rhinos boards. Joe Coombs looking on with his hands behind his back. Sees the Wranglers go up ice. His left side, Gadowski fires a shot over the goal. Momentum carries the puck back out to center where DeMarco will just hack it back in. Wranglers get a partial change as Bolduc springs forward. Comes barreling down the left wing, loses a handle on the puck just as he was trying to shoot between the circles. Now at the far half wall, players jostle for the puck. Rhinos get it back on the left wing. Pellerine slides it down low for Bolduc. He exchanges as Arias to Pellerine. He shoots wide of the goal. McDonough was screened. Puck never saw the net. The Wranglers are able to chop it back out to center ice. Rhinos regroup and reload as Cam Bazier lances it off his stick to Torrey Lund. They'll feather it down deep. McDonough plays the puck to DeMarco. Pass ahead escapes McNaughton. That'll be an icing on the Wranglers with 8:15 to go in the second. Shot count is 17-14 in favor of the Rhinos. in a 1-1 game, 1 goal in each period. First period, it was the Rhinos scoring from Eddie Schepler a minute in. And then 1:20 into the second, Connor McNaughton gets the goal for the Wranglers. Shot count in this period, Rhinos have a slight edge, 7-6. As the draws to the right of McDonough, Rhinos win it, spinning as Stefelski on his backhand. Exchanges with Lund. Shiftily, Lund spins away from McNaughton, gets it to Stefelski below the goal line. Stefelski gets pinned up against the boards by Kruklidis. Rhinos keep it in, right point. German snaps a shot towards the goal. McDonough fights it off, and the Wranglers sniff out the rebound as Topi Pukkanen springs forward. He'll gain center red, dump and chase action. He's doing it all. As behind the net, he goes against his fellow countryman Paavo Hiltunen. Play moves towards the far half wall. Hiltunen picks up the free puck. He'll reverse it towards the near side. Big hit is thrown by, looks like Gagnon on LaBelle. As the Rhinos' next breakout attempt is bottled up at the Wrangler blue line. Paavo Hiltunen will survey the seam behind Lavulo, but not for long. His stretch pass goes off a stick to McDonough. He'll keep the play moving as he backhand paddles it to Gagnon on the near side. He sends Morris into motion. Luke Morris goes racing in on the right side. He'll snap a shot towards the goal. Save made by Lavulo. Rebound comes back to Morris. And on the right wing, Walker will exit. He dumps the puck in. McDonough plays it. Gagnon again on the right wing. Starts something for the Wranglers offensively. Morris meanders his way through the neutral zone. Drops it off for Abraham at the left wing. Morris takes a high check by Strickland on the far wall. As a centering feed goes to Morris, and he scores! Luke Morris comes back into the play and gets the goal against his former team. Wranglers take the lead 2-1. Two second period goals have given the Wranglers a 2-1 lead as Luke Morris gets his 10th goal of the season with 6:40 to go in the second period. Assists go to Morley Phillips and Elias Abraham. So now for Morley Phillips with the primary assist, he now has 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 games. He's been playing some of his best hockey as of late. Elias Abraham gets his 3rd point as a Wrangler. And now Amarillo, after surrendering the first goal of the game, now has a 2-1 lead. On that last play, Morris took a check in the far wall. He was able to spring back up to his feet and receive the pass from Phillips for the one-timer. As now the game has swung in the Wranglers' favor. Bolduc looking to change that. His shot is blocked from the right side. On the rebound, he turns for a wraparound attempt, and the puck goes in and out of the blue paint. Wranglers rainbow the puck just a couple inches below the rafters as it settles down at the Rhino blue line. Out of all that, the Wranglers are offside on the zone entry. 6:09 to go in the second period. Wranglers have a 2-1 lead. As the crowd is buzzing, the Wranglers are buzzing on an exciting night here at the Budweiser bullpen. Draw right in front of the Wranglers bench in the neutral zone. Rhinos victorious at the dot. Ginger will knock it deep into the Wranglers zone. And Carson Triggs will look to get to work. Semenyuk shuts him down defensively. Play moves into the far corner. From low to high, Zarski towards the goal, deflection off a stick. McDonough got just enough of the puck to make the save. Wranglers will push the puck back out to the neutral zone where Jack Ivey darts towards the goal. He'll shoot, and a save made by Lavulo. Oh, what a move by Jack Ivey to niftily get away from the defender. He's in close quarters with Lavulo and just couldn't find a way to beat the Rhino netminder, but that's an electric play from Jack Ivey. We've seen that many, many times this season. But a big save by Lavulo keeps it a 2-1 game. Draw on the far circle. Zap out there with Godowski and Day. Ritchie and Semeniuk, the two D-men, will take the draw. El Paso victorious in that regard. As the play moves over towards the near half wall, it'll squirt back to Lund behind the Rhino cage. 5:30 to go in the second period. His bouncing puck moves by Semeniuk. On the attack is LaBelle. He centers. Lund is there, and the shot is blocked by TJ Ritchie and directed out of play. What a huge play by TJ Ritchie. I think might be playing his best game of his young career, as he's just made excellent defensive play after play. He's able to get stick on puck there. And McDonough gives him a little bit of a fist bump afterwards, saying, "Hey, thanks, man." As TJ Ritchie does the heavy lifting, makes a good defensive stop. And he'll head towards the bench. As Troutwine and Gagnon come on. Same forward unit out there for the Wranglers. He's off the draw. Zap wins it. He connects with Day at center ice. Plug and play as Day dumps it in. Looks to find Godowski on the near side with the Rhinos with a couple of quick passes. Get out of their own end, and Tefelsky will just float it back down deep into Wrangler territory. Nick Troutwine, the former Rhino, will start the next Wrangler charge. Wranglers get shut down on the zone entry, and now El Paso moves the other way. On the back check, Roman Zap gets a steal as he rejoined the play, was able to pick the pocket of the Rhinos. El Paso keeps possession, but a nice play by number 89 on the back check to shut down that latest opportunity. What was looking like it was going to be a 3-on-2 in favor of El Paso. Here's Bezier at center ice. On the left wing, shifts towards his backhand, funnels a shot towards the goal. McDonough the save. Wranglers on the clearing attempt, can't get it out, and now they do. An extra stick by Topi Pukkanen forces El Paso to reset. An errant pass goes into the arms of the Wranglers, and now quick passes sends McNaughton into motion. Down the middle he goes, and a nice defensive stick by Germain shuts down his opportunity. In transition, the Rhinos will catapult it back down towards McDonough behind the Wrangler net. No-look pass connects with the Wranglers' defense. Nice play by Budik to find McNaughton, and he will just hoist the puck back out to the neutral zone. Stretch pass off the stick of Bolduc. Puck stays in play just by a couple inches. A shot from the far side wall by Walker screeches wide of McDonough. It's held in at the left point by Reed. He'll chuck it over towards the far corner, where Pellerine will move it to the opposite corner, where Semeniuk will do battle with a couple of Rhinos. Puck is up against the boards. Everybody wants a piece of that puck. Who's going to get it? Play shifts behind McDonough. 3 Wranglers, 2 Rhinos are there. Now a couple more join the fray, and now El Paso's able to pick it free. Reed centering pass off the stick of Schepler and into the open arms of McDonough. He melts it down with 3:06 to go in the second period. Wranglers lead 2-1. Shot count is 19-17 in favor of El Paso. Wranglers get a much-needed line change. That was an extended shift for Connor McNaughton and company. They'll go off, and on comes Luke Morris, Phillips, Abrant, DeMarco, and Kruklidis. Face-off will be on the near circle of the Wranglers zone. Walker against Morris. The Wrangler the victor. Puck on the clearing attempt bounces like a stone on a pond. Back into Rhino territory, so El Paso starts their next breakout. But unfortunately for them, they've iced the puck. With 2:50 to go in the second period, it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Wranglers. And it will be to the left of Lavulo on the near circle of the Rhino zone. Tefelsky, Reed, Walker, Lindsay, and Hiltonen out there for the Rhinos right now. McRobertson, Ritchie, the 2 demon for the Wranglers. Otherwise, the forwards are the same. We get a little bit of a skirmish here as Phillips off the draw. Looks like he wants to go with Lindsay. Linesman trying to break it up. Lindsay didn't look like he wanted to fight. Neither guy dropped the gloves, but they're going to get a scolding here by the linesman. Both men stay out there. The puck is dropped. Phillips trying to drive towards the puck. Can't get a shot on goal. The Rhinos get it back out to center. Working one-on-one is Tefelsky against McRoberts. Tefelsky's shot is blockered away by McDonough, and the Wranglers move in transition. Here comes Luke Morris on the left wing. Stops at the half wall. Centering feed goes off a stick and wide. Phillips was there. He has the puck now in the near corner. Looks to exchange with Abrams. Tim Mathis, the defender for El Paso. Luke Lindsay joins the pile. Phillips keeps possession of the puck. Nice work by him. Right point shot is blocked by London. Now the Rhinos go the other way. Tefelsky down Broadway towards the goal, and T.J. Ritchie, a big play, and another defensive stick by T.J. Ritchie shuts it down. Now Jack Ivey on the forecheck gets high sticked. Fans want a penalty. They're not going to get it. And Jack behind the play is down. Rhinos the other way. Tefelsky to the left side, and they score. Mason LaBella was a 3-on-1 as Jack Ivey was down behind the play, and the Rhinos have tied the game up at 2. And the Wranglers are furious, and they have every right to be. Listen, folks, I don't talk about the officials too much, but that was one that they probably should have had. It doesn't get as clear as that when it comes to high sticking, but instead the Rhinos go the other way. And they score. And for the Wranglers, that's just an error that you learn. You're still young. It is junior hockey after all, but you play until the whistle. And the Wranglers got caught up behind the play. They thought they were going to get a penalty, and they didn't. And the Rhinos took full advantage of the Wranglers kind of slipping away from the play. 3-on-1 going the other way. And it's Mason LaBelle getting the goal. His 11th of the season from Tefelsky and Lund to tie the game up at 2. And that whole thing started because the Wranglers, well, first off, what a play by T.J. Ritchie defensively. His impressive night continues. He made a great defensive stop, started the next charge. He was looking to find Jack Ivey on a stretch pass. Well, it didn't connect, but Jack Ivey was racing towards the puck, trying to get there first, and a Rhino high-sticked him as he was trying to get to the puck. And so that's it, Jack Ivey tumbling down behind the play. Wranglers were kind of mulling around trying to see what was going to go on because they thought they were going to get a power play. Instead, the Rhinos, seeing that the whistle had not blown, took the puck, moved the other way, got a 3-on-1. And it's Lund to Tefelsky, and then finally to LaBelle on the game-tying goal with 1:54 to go in the second. Wranglers fans voiced their displeasure with the officiating crew. But it's a tie game as El Paso sees the puck go deep in their own territory. And I think for the Wranglers, I think you just got to find a way to not get caught up on the no call. I know it's difficult. There's a lot of emotions at stake. But you just got to keep playing your game. The Wranglers really have played great hockey over the last 20 minutes or so. It's got to keep continuing to do that. DeMarco off the stick of McDonald and in deep. Jack Ivey giving chase, working against Jacob Germain. Ivey trying to wedge the puck away from the grasp of the Czech defender. Centering pass by Gagnon goes off a stick of Lavulo. He almost directed it into his own net. The Rhinos evade danger and get a clear with 1 minute to go in the second period. Nick Troutwine to Gagnon. Stretch pass behind Day. That'll be an icing on the Wranglers as it goes all the way down with 49 seconds to go in the second frame. As we got a fired up guy behind the Rhinos bench, his shirt is off. He's causing a commotion down there. It's a rowdy Saturday night at the Budweiser bullpen. That guy trying to play some mind games, getting to the heads of the El Paso Rhinos. Drawing the far circle of the Wranglers zone. Walker to take it against Zapp. Walker wins it, driving towards the goal. McDonough poke checks the puck away. At the line, Zarski a try. McDonough fights that off as well. Now at center ice, Godowski lurches forward. Puck goes deep into the Rhino end in the far corner. Big hit by Godowski there as he's got a man tied up in the corner. I believe that's Zarski, and it is. Wranglers get the puck. It's at the right point. Gagnon looks to move it D to D, but the pass goes offline and out to the neutral zone. Troutline will just blast it back in. Rhinos touch it. Wranglers get it back. They look to go to work. It's at the right point. Everybody trying to get a piece of the puck. Wranglers get full possession. It's at the right point. Gagnon fakes a man out. Gagnon shoots. Deflection in the slot, and the Rhinos sweep the puck away. And we'll just flip it back towards the Wranglers' end at the conclusion of the second period. And so after 2 periods, it's the Wranglers 2 and the Rhinos 2. Big second period for the Wranglers. Sees them jump out to a 2-1 lead. Rhinos get a late one from Mason LaBelle to tie it up at 2, and it sets the stage for an exciting third period. We'll talk about the events of the first 2 periods, preview the final period of play, and also talk some shop on a Saturday night. We come back on the second intermission report, brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. It's 2-2 from downtown Amarillo. We'll talk again in a couple of minutes on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Two is your score after 2 periods of play. Guy Chiarenza here, welcome you inside the Budweiser bullpen for our second intermission report, brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. It seems like a playoff game, it feels like a playoff game, but we're not quite there yet, although this game and its outcome will tell us a lot about what the playoff picture will look at like as the Robertson Cup Playoffs are just about 2 weeks away. El Paso currently in 3rd place in the South Division. Amarillo sitting in right now 5th place with New Mexico's win. Although with a win tonight, the Wranglers could jump back into 4th place. by virtue of a tie. So El Paso got the scoring started, and it didn't take them long. 1 minute and 1 second into the first period, it's Eddie Schepler from Bradley Walker and Jacob Germain getting things started for the Rhinos. That was the only goal of the first period, as it looked like in the opening, I want to say about 7 minutes of the first period, about all Rhinos offensively. And then something kind of started to click for the Wranglers. They started to get their feet moving, started to get things churning. Things were starting to move in their way as they were getting some momentum offensively. And last time we talked in the first intermission report, I predicted that Wranglers could find their skating legs in the second period. Could have that second period surge that we've seen time and time again this season. And with a big penalty kill, a roaring crowd at their backs, the Wranglers could have a chance to take that momentum, get a couple goals out of it, and get an early one at that. While the Wranglers did just that, as Connor McNaughton scores 1:21 into the second period from Topi Pukanen and Kyle DeMarco to make it a 1-1 hockey game. The Wranglers would get the next goal of the game as well, as with 6:40 to go in the second period, it's Morris from Phillips and Abrant to give the Wranglers a 2-1 lead. And that was a really good play by that Wrangler line. We saw Magnus Gadowski on that line with Phillips and Morris in Colorado. Looks like tonight Austin Sutter, the Wranglers head coach, has done a bit of a lineup shuffle, a little bit of line shuffling here this weekend, or I guess tonight, as opposed from yesterday. And now you see Phillips on that line with Morris and Abrant. So Abrant takes Gadowski's place on the left wing. I guess the assist on that goal. And it was Abrant starting the charge. Well, actually, it was Morris starting the charge. The puck moved over to Abrant because Morris took a big hit at the far half wall. And Morris goes down, and the puck reverses over towards the near side for Abrant, helps the puck over towards the near side for Phillips. And out of all that, Morris springs back up to his feet. He's left unguarded because the Rhinos think he's down and out of the play. And so to everyone's surprise, Morris gets back up on his feet. He's left all alone back door. And Phillips feeds him for the one-timer, and Morris puts home the goal for the score. Really nice-looking goal for the Wranglers. Luke Morris continues to play some of his best hockey of the season. He now has 10 goals on the year. And you can't disregard what Morley Phillips has done over this last stretch. 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 5. He's been outstanding for the Wranglers as well. And on that goal, Elias Abrant picked up his 3rd point in a Wrangler uniform. All 3 have been assists. So the Wranglers at that point had a 2-1 lead, and they were playing some really good hockey in the second period. You know, at the top of the open here in the second intermission. Talked about this game feeling like a playoff game really in the second period. That's exactly how it felt. It felt like just 2 really good teams going neck and neck. The Wranglers were starting to get the edge in the second period, got 2 goals out of it, and it was looking like the Rhinos were going to be held off the board in the second frame. And then you get a little bit of controversy, right? Because it wouldn't be it wouldn't be high drama here at the Budweiser bullpen if we didn't have a little controversy, right? So Jack Ivey gets high stick deep into the Rhinos zone, and it all starts with a great defensive play by TJ Ritchie, right? This is a full story. So side note, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but TJ Ritchie is playing one of the best games I've seen him play all season. He's been steady for the Wranglers in his rookie season. I think he's gotten better as the season has gone on. I think it's really all culminated into a monster performance here tonight where he's just been all over defensively. He's been fantastic, and he makes a really good play in the Wranglers' end to shut down the Rhinos. And so he picks up the puck, looks to find Jack Ivey streaking forward deep into the Rhinos' zone. Stretch pass doesn't hit, but Jack's moving with a lot of speed. He's going to win the race to the puck anyway. And so the Rhinos' defender, seeing that, intentionally, unintentionally, whatever, high sticks Jack Ivey. Jack goes down deep in the Rhinos' end. Well, the Wranglers, I mean, everybody sees this going on, right? And the Wranglers think there's going to be a penalty. The fans think there's going to be a penalty. There's no penalty. And so the Wranglers kind of all stop for just a moment, just a second or two, kind of looking for that whistle, right? Are we going to get that whistle? Well, they didn't. And so what the Rhinos do is they do what a well-coached team does, is they continue to play to the whistle. There is no whistle. Rhinos take the puck, move the other way. It's a 3-on-1 back on the Wranglers' end, and it's Lund, Stefelski, and finally LaBelle for the score that ties the game up at 2. And I think for the Wranglers, I think that's one of those moments where the Wranglers are a well-coached team. They know to play to the whistle, but I think in the heat of the moment, it just seemed so obvious, right? And not to harp on the officials. I usually don't do that, but it seemed like one of those moments where every single guy on the ice for the Wranglers thought that was such a sure call that they were going to get the whistle that it kind of just froze them for a second, and the Rhinos took full advantage, and the Wranglers' emotions got the best of them. They kind of just stopped for a moment looking for the penalty. They don't get it, and the Rhinos take the puck, go the other way, and score. So just a bad breakdown. It really never should have happened, but sometimes that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, folks. And it's a bad break for the Wranglers. Rhinos take full advantage, and they tied the game up at 2 late in the second period. So that sets the stage for a very, very big third period here at the Budweiser bullpen. Now, in games that are decided by 1 or 2 goals, the Wranglers have found a way to either win those games or at least get a point out of it. As this season, when it comes to winning close games, the Wranglers can do just that. The Wranglers are 19-7-5-2 in games decided by 1 or 2 goals. And the Wranglers this season in 1-goal games are 15-2-6-2. So the Wranglers have played their fair share of games like this all season long. And with their ticket punched to the Robertson Cup Playoffs, the Wranglers kind of have a one-up on some of the teams that are in the playing field right now in the playoffs because they've been here before. They've done this, right? And like for Amarillo, at this juncture, if you play like you did in the second period, you got a really strong chance at winning this game. Now, the Rhinos are out shooting the Wranglers 22-18 at this point. Last time we checked in the second period, the Rhinos did have a slight edge in the shot count in the second period, and they do finish the second period 1 shot ahead of the Wranglers, 11-10. But I really thought the quality of chances for the Wranglers was good in the second period. I thought defensively they were playing a good game. And I really think a lot of those shots from the Rhinos, by my memory, by my count, came in like the first 5-ish minutes of the second period where Connor McDonough was making some big saves to keep the Rhinos off the board. And the Wranglers were able to, hold serve, get some chances of their own. And so it looked like the final 3 quarters of the second period, the Wranglers really hit their stride. They were able to kind of start playing the game that they wanted to after they got the McNaughton goal. McDonough the big saves. And like I said, the rest of the period kind of seemed to be one of the best periods the Wranglers have played in the last couple of games. So, or not the last couple of games, but really I would say in this series, in this set, as the Wranglers did have a good weekend in Colorado. So that was the tale of the second period. And so you look at period 3, and you got to think it's anybody's game. When we talk about playoff atmosphere, being playoff ready, well, this is it. And one of the things about playing the last-ranked team in the South Division, the Colorado Grit, last weekend and on the final weekend of the regular season, some of that talk, I guess that devil's advocate is that, you want to play playoff-ready teams at this point in the season, right? You want to be hitting your stride right now. And in Colorado, it looked like the Wranglers were doing that. But then again, a lot of teams haven't been able to come into Colorado and beat the Grit this season. I mean, they're an 11-win team. So for the Wranglers, a lot of people were looking at this matchup on the schedule saying, well, this is the big test here. This is the true test for this Wrangler team, is how ready are they heading into the Robertson Cup playoffs? I think the Wranglers had an off night last night. Tonight they've looked much better, and as a result of that, you got a neck-and-neck game between 2 of the best teams in the South Division. This third period is going to be wild, and it might not be the final period to play in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see overtime in this building. It's a tight contest between 2 South Division foes. A lot's at stake. As we'll talk about the playoff picture when we come back on the Wranglers Hockey Network second intermission report, brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, in just a couple minutes here on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Welcome back into the second intermission report brought to you by Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. I am Guy Chiarenza from the Budweiser bullpen. We're all tied up at 2 after 2 periods of play. It's anybody's game, and it's a big one, a lot at stake. With a win here tonight, the Rhinos can fend off the Wranglers for third place in the South Division. Amarillo, with a win here tonight, will still be in play for third place, but a loss puts them out of the running. The Wranglers would then have to win out after winning here tonight. El Paso would have to lose out for the Wranglers to have third place. So long odds, but not impossible odds. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in this league, especially when the Wranglers went on an improbable run to make the Robertson Cup Playoffs with an impressive win streak last season. So because of that, here in Amarillo, we don't count anything out, right? And we've seen that this season, but the Wranglers have had a lot of really big comebacks this season. Now the Wranglers were down after allowing the game's opening goal. The Rhinos went scoring first for 26-2, 1-1. Pretty good. The Wranglers went trailing first 11-17, 4-2, and that speaks volumes. Because a lot of times when I compile my scouting report for the game, that figure, that trailing first figure, is abysmal for a lot of teams. But for the Wranglers, they're one of those few teams that can say, you know what, we're not terrible when we get with the first goal. A lot of teams do have losing records when they get with the first goal, but the Wranglers, they find a way to hang around and make things interesting after allowing the game's first goal. In fact, the last time the Rhinos were here, Medrick Bolduc scored the first goal of the game, and then the Wranglers scored 4 unanswered to win that game, 4-1. And so that was one of the Rhinos' 2 regulation losses when scoring first. The Wranglers can do it, and if there's any team that can do it, I've said it time and time again this season, man, it's got to be the Amarillo Wranglers. So we'll see what the third period has in store for us. As when tied after 2, the Rhinos are 9-2, 2-2. The Wranglers are 11-3, 2-1. As the Rhinos are greeted by a rain of boos by the Budweiser bullpen faithful. As they're back out there, Rhinos will skate from left to right, Wranglers from right to left as they come back out of the tunnel wearing their specialty jerseys. Canadian tuxedo is the theme. As you see it on NATV, in your mind's eye sees it on YouTube, as my good friend and colleague Tyson Whiting would say with the Utah Grizzlies. As he's also calling a game here tonight, as the Grizzlies are taking on the Rapid City Rush. So hey, at the conclusion of our game, go check him out. He does some great work over there. But not before this wraps up, because we have a big third period in front of us. Wranglers and the Rhinos, it doesn't get any better than this. Who's going to take it? Wranglers look to pick up a big couple of points in the playoff race with a victory here on home ice against the El Paso Rhinos. Wranglers lead the season series with a record of 4-2-1 against El Paso this season. A win here on home ice could solidify the season series victory, as this is the 8th and final meeting between these two clubs this season. We're not sure who's going to be the victor tonight, but what we can guarantee is that we have a fun final 20 and maybe a little bit more ahead of us. So we thank you for joining us here on NATV and YouTube, the Wranglers Hockey Network. And if you haven't already, pull up a chair, get cozy, get some food of your choice, beverage of your choice, and sit back and enjoy an exciting third period here at the Budweiser bullpen. Ben Ivey will take the draw for the Wranglers. His opponent, Torrey Lund, as they drop the puck, and the third period is underway. Rhinos get to work as Defelski paddles it towards the middle for Lund. A defensive stick breaks it up. Lund swoops out towards the far side. Wranglers force El Paso back out to center. Lund scurries down the right wing, drops it off for Defelski. Puck on a fresh sheet of ice, rolls off of number 11 stick, down to the tape of the Wranglers. Errant pass by McDonald goes to no one except for Pellerine. Rhinos 30 seconds in. Will tap it deep into Wrangler territory and get their first change of the period. McDonough heaves the puck out to center ice for McDonald. He's quickly met by Zarski. Jack Ivey is there for Amarillo to bank it off the far side wall and in. Wranglers get a partial change here as Jack Ivey comes off and on comes Victor Budik. Meanwhile, the Rhinos start their next charge. As across, it's A.J. Reed. He shoots! McDonough the save, and it goes in and out of his glove, but it stays out of the net. A save's a save, and a big one there for Connor McDonough. Now Victor Budik will flapjack the puck deep into Rhino territory. At the right point, it's Gagnon. He'll shoot. It's blocked by Eddie Scheffler. Back to Gagnon, and his shot is narrowly stopped by Lavulo. Another try from the other point is snared out of the air by Lavulo against the former Rhino, Nick Troutwine. And so good chances on both ends of the ice. We stop 1:16 into the third period. Wranglers getting 2 shots. Rhinos 1 in the opening minute and change of the third. Draw to the right of Lavulo. McNaughton out there with Budik and Puukkonen. Semeniuk and Ritchie, the 2 D-men. I really like that Semeniuk and Ritchie D pairing here. Not just tonight, but over the last couple of games. They've done some really good work. As TJ Ritchie will plug the puck back into the Rhinos zone. Puukkonen trying to jar the puck away from the Rhinos, is successful in doing so. McNaughton goes crashing in deep, looking to get that puck off the wall from Hiltonen. Wranglers fish it free, centering pass. Puukkonen's shot is blocked as Medrick Bolduc was in the right place at the right time to make the block. Now the puck goes out of play with 18:16 to go in the third. Topi Puukkonen has been lethal against the Rhinos this season as he leads all Wranglers skaters with 7 points in the prior 7 games in the season series, 4 goals and 3 assists. And Puukkonen tonight already has an assist, so check that figure. 4 goals, 4 assists in 8 games, and this one's not over. Draw on the far circle. Zapp will take it. Ping-pongs around off the draw. Rhinos kick it out to center. It's Mason LaBelle ripping a shot wide of the mark from center ice. Torrey Lund looks for it in the near corner, overskates it. LaBelle picks it up. Will drop it back behind the net looking for Tefelsky. Instead, finds TJ Ritchie. Ritchie and Semeniuk handle the puck for the Wranglers. Puck stays in the zone, held at the right point line. LaBelle, he finds a man in motion. Germana try, save made by McDonough. And no rebound as number 1 covers it up with 17:46 to go in the third. Still a 2-2 game, but we see some dangerous chances on both ends of the ice. And something tells me this third period might become a bit of a goaltending duel as Connor McDonough, in a critical moment, has proven that he can be that guy. Make some big saves in crunch time to help the Wranglers to victory. As for Joe Lavulo, this is his 18th game of the season. Good record, 10-4-2-1. 2.34 goals against average, 901 save percentage. We'll see if he can rise to the occasion for the Rhinos. Draw in the near circle of the Wranglers zone. Goes Amarillo's way. Elias Abramp will feed Martins Kruklides. As Kruklides drives down the right wing, he snaps a shot off the stick of Pellerine and out of play. And there's Kruklides, who stands very, very tall. 6'6", 198 pounds. He's a tall guy, but man, can he move. He's got some wheels on him, and we've seen it here in this game. And it seems like he's starting to get his skating legs here over the last couple of games. He's playing with speed. He's not afraid to start taking shots. And he'll stay out there with DeMarco on this next shift. Rhinos with it off the draw. Ginger is fed at center. They'll leave it on the left wing for Coughlin. Looks to return it to Ginger. Puck jumping around. Ginger takes a shot. McDonough, an easy save. And now the Rhinos fumble the puck at the blue line and are forced to retreat back to their own territory. Meanwhile, a couple of shirtless guys are harassing the Rhinos behind their bench. Is making life difficult for them, kind of like when Odessa was in town a couple weeks ago. As they say, rowdy crowd here at the bullpen. Paavo Hiltonen connects with Coughlin. Rhinos start their next charge. And here comes El Paso. Walker, right side, can't rip a shot off as the puck was jumping up and down. Centering feet from below the goal line is sniffed out by Ben Ivy and directed towards the near side. Shot is taken there. It's blocked by the Wranglers captain. He'll feed Jack Ivy on the right wing. Jack will propel it in deep. On the left wing, Ben Ivy gets a stick on it. They'll snap a shot towards the goal. It's blocked by Mathis. Comes boomerang back to the half wall. Ben Ivy from center point. Tries to take another shot. Didn't get a lot of heat on it. Tristan Zarski looks to get possession back. Wranglers another steal. Rhinos collect the puck once more, move out to the Wranglers zone and get a much-needed change. 16:07 and counting to go in the third period, still a 2-2 game. Victor Budik steps over the attacking line. Right wing, shot goes wide of the goal, held in at the left point by McNaughton. He'll drive it back towards the far side for Puukkonen. From below the goal line, Puukkonen goes to work. On his backhand, feeds McNaughton in the middle, and he couldn't get a lot on the shot as he was tied up with Tori Lund. Make that Jakob Germain, centering feed. Puukkonen turns and shoots. He scores! Topi Puukkonen, and the Wranglers have the lead again. It's 3-2. The Rhino killer does it again. The fantastic Finn with a snipe between the circles, and the Wranglers get their lead back. As Topi Puukkonen has his 24th goal of the season, Wranglers are back out in front. It's now a multi-point affair for Connor McNaughton, who gets the secondary assist, and for young Victor Budik, he gets his first point in a Wrangler uniform as he made the centering feed to Puukkonen, who went bar down on Lavulo. And the Wranglers have the lead. It's 3-2. So now the Wranglers, with all the momentum, have a 3-2 lead. They look to add upon it with the momentum on their side. As Morris will take the next draw against Tori Lund. Paso wins the draw. They'll look to try and get that one back. Topi Puukkonen has his 24th goal of the season. McNaughton and Budik the assists. At the Rhinos, take a shot on goal. McDonough, a kick save. And now here comes Elias Abraham on the right wing. They'll knock it deep into Rhino territory. Hiltonen will pick it up. He'll scoop it towards the near side wall. It'll ricochet back to the Finnish defenseman. With 15:13 to go in the third as he waits behind his net. Rhinos ice the puck with 15:06 to go in the third period. Offensive zone draw coming for Amarillo. The Rhinos wanted to get a change. Unable to do so. And so now Roman Zapp will take the draw. Godowski and Day as two wingers, and Zapp has been excellent in the face-off this circle this season. If he can win this year, Wranglers can get some offensive zone time as they try and put another past Lavulo. Rhinos able to fish the puck away from the near side corner and direct it back into the Wranglers zone, where now they'll get their change, although the Wranglers right back on their horse. Tip it back down to Lavulo. Cross ice feed out of the reach of A.J. Reed. It goes behind the Wrangler goal line. Reed will get there. Day slams him up against the end wall. Big hit there, and Reed is feeling the full force of that one. He just gets back up to his feet now. Meanwhile, behind the net, it's Mathis. Centering feed, Reed is there. They tried to jam it home, and McDonough wasn't having any of it. TJ Ritchie barrels down the right wing and fires a shot right into the breadbasket of Lavulo. He'll hold on with 14:19 to go in the third. Now afterwards, everybody bunches up. A little bit of a conference there. Officials break it up. Both teams get a line change. Jack Ivey against Medrick Bolduc on the far circle of the Rhinos zone. Wranglers trying to keep the puck in off the draw. Unable to do so, and now bursting down the left wing is Triggs. Wranglers fish the puck free. At center ice, Jack Ivey goes coast to coast for Ben Ivey. They'll fire it into the clutching glove of Lavulo, and now behind the play, McDonald took a stick up high. Either a stick or an elbow. Wranglers taking offense. They want a penalty. We'll see if they get it with 13:56 to go in the third. Initial indicators say somebody's going to go as the door to the Rhinos penalty box is open, although now it's closed. Looks like they're trying to talk this over. Now it looks like there won't be a penalty. Yeah, no penalty. We stay 5-on-5. Next draw will be to the right of Lavulo on the near circle. Ben Ivey against Torrey Lund. As they play the Three Blind Mice song here. Not really a hype song, but I guess I can get behind it. Wranglers win the draw, but Rhinos get possession, although they'll have to find a way to exit their own zone, and they do. LaBelle, cross-ice feed is intercepted by McDonald. He'll rattle it back in, down to Lavulo. LaBelle with it on the far half wall, backhand pass onto the tape of Lund. Wranglers another defensive stick. Stymies the Rifles' next breakout. El Paso will have to start from behind Lavulo. Right wing toss. McNaughton looks to get the steals as he's working against Lund. He doesn't get the steal, but he does some good work. Forces the Rhinos back into their own end. 13:10 to go in the third. Germain on the left wing. Centering pass is intercepted by McNaughton at the red line, although we lost a tip on it at the last second. Rhinos will sky it back into Wrangler territory. McNaughton collects it once more. Finds Pukkanen on the left wing. He'll pivot at the half wall. Pukkanen feathers it to Budik. Downloads McNaughton. He reverses it towards the far side for Semeniuk. Although the pass was too hot to handle, and Walker will wiggle in and swindle the puck away. Now Henry McRoberts battling against A.J. Reed on the near wing. As two Wranglers, two Rhinos are there. Extra man trying to join the pile is Bolduc. Wranglers keep a hand on the puck though. And we'll just filter it back out to center ice. Carson Triggs enters down Broadway, drops it off. Ryan Ginger is there. Can't get a shot off as Ginger meanders towards the near corner. Has a trailer in Bolduc. His shot goes wide. Not a lot of heat on that one. Wranglers get the clear. And they will ice the puck on that clearing attempt with 12:05 to go in the third period. Wranglers lead at 3-2 off of Topi Pukkanen's 24th goal of the season. That goal coming 4:19 into the third period. So one thing that the Wranglers have done this weekend, really something that they did in Colorado as well, was scoring in the opening 5 minutes of a period. Draws one by the Rhinos and a shot from the line by Hilton, and it's eaten up by McDonough. We get another whistle with 12:02 to go in the third. Wranglers get a change. Lund is out there with Bezier and Kyle Arias. So interesting combo there from Joe Coombs. Usually see Lund with LaBelle and Tefelsky. Morris will be the opponent for Lund at the dot. The Rhino is the victor, although the Wranglers swarm the puck. And will stash it back down deep into Rhino territory. Jumping puck is settled down by Bezier. He was looking to find a man forward at his own blue line. Instead, it escapes him. It goes all the way down the distance for a Rhino icing. 11:46 to go in the third period. Looks like the draw will be on the far circle to the left of Lavulo. Morris will take the draw against Torrey Lund. Rhinos win it. They look to exit their own ends. Dangerous pass was lurking in front of Abrant, but the Rhinos keep possession. As behind the scenes, they get a change. They'll work it in deep. McDonough will pump it all the way back down. No icing. As they said that, I believe that's Jacob Germain over there could have played it. So we play on. Luke Morris getting to work on the forecheck in the Rhinos zone. Almost gets a steal. El Paso collects the puck at center ice. It's A.J. Reed. He'll snap a shot. McDonough the save. And Kruklitis will collect the rebounds. Rhinos are dangerous when they get to playing with speed and especially in transition. As Zap gets a steal on the right wing. Stops at the circle. Pulls up looking for a trailer. He's got Godowski. He's trying to drag him down with Shepler, but the big man stays tall. Right corner, Zap to the left point. Kruklitis settles on the puck, and now Shepler steps in and steals. Kruklitis gets back into position, and nice defensive stick by the Latvian. Stymies Eddie Shepler. They'll bank it off the wall and all the way down. No icing. Good shift there for Kruklitis. Day on the forecheck. Looks to get the puck back into the Wranglers' hands. Pellerine, strong and steady, will roll out to the right wing for El Paso. Coughlin dumps it in. Goes corner to corner. On the far end. Held in at the left point by Pellerine. His shot goes off a couple sticks. Towards the goal. McDonough fights it away. And the Wranglers defense does the rest. Now at center ice, Ben Ivy enters. He'll shoot wide of the goal. Lunging for it was Lavulo. Jack Ivy on his second attempt is stopped by the Rhino netminder with a glove save with 9:53 to go in the third period. Well, this one's been a fun one, and it's not over yet. Wranglers lead 3-2 with 9:53 to go in the third. We're not sure how this one ends. So stick around to find out when we come back on the Wranglers Hockey Network on NATV and YouTube. Playoffs aren't here yet, but boy, does this game feel like a playoff game. Both teams have already punched their ticket to the Robertson Cup Playoffs. High drama here at the Budweiser bullpen where the Wranglers lead by 1 with 9:53 to go. It's 3-2. El Paso trying to rally back to tie the game. Amarillo looking for an insurance marker as they have an offensive zone draw to the left of Lavulo on the far circle of the Rhinos zone. Jack Ivy to take it. Rhinos win it. It's actually Pellerine trying to play the puck back. Instead, Lavulo makes a save on his own guy and holds with 9:51 to go in the third. I get what Pellerine was trying to do there. I think he was just trying to bank it off the end wall and send the puck along its way the other way, but Lavulo just had a reaction, just makes the save, and so we get another draw. Wranglers win it, although the Rhinos step in and pick up the loose puck before the Wranglers defense could claim it. Meanwhile, Gagnon blasts Shepler at center ice. Rhinos wedge the puck down deep. Is on the left side, it's Reed. They'll rip it off the end wall towards the near wing. Puck goes back behind the net, and the Wranglers will get a clear. Off the wall in front of their own bench. It'll be scooped up by Germain behind Lavulo. McDonald, who's been really good on the forecheck this season, making some noise for Amarillo. The Rhinos are able to shake it off and enter on the left wing. Play goes behind McDonough. Rhinos can't get a stick on it. Wranglers will exit as DeMarco gains some steam. Over the red line, whips it towards Lavulo. He makes the save. With under 9 minutes to go in the third period, the Rhinos start to charge. And it's Hiltonen. Drops it off. Shot by Tefelsky, easily gobbled up by McDonough with 8:44 to go in the third. Draw will be on the far circle. Both teams getting a change here as the McNaughton line steps out. That line is combined for 2 goals here tonight. First, it was Connor McNaughton himself getting the Wranglers' first goal of the game, and then most recently, Topi Pukkanen from Budik and McNaughton. Although Pukkanen not necessarily on that line, 2 out of the 3 still factored in. Rhinos keep the puck in. It's at the right point. Lindsay, a shot, goes off a stick and stays in play. It screeches off the inboards towards Kyle DeMarco. He gets pinned up against his own inboards. Everybody trying to dig the puck free. Shot count is 31-24 in favor of El Paso, but the Wranglers have the lead. It's 3-2. McNaughton is able to swindle the puck away from the pile. He connects with Morris. I think that Pukkanen on the left wing. The Finnish forward will jar it into Rhino territory. Wranglers get a line change as the Rhinos go a D to D in their own end. It's Mathis to Lindsay. And now in the center, it's Ginger. He'll shoot towards the goal. McDonough, quick save, sweeps it towards the far corner. I don't think he was expecting that shot from Ginger, and to be honest, I wasn't either. Centering feed from below the goal line is intercepted by Abrant. Morley Phillips tries to chug the other way. The Rhinos quick to sniff it out, forces him towards the outside, and they will get the puck back with 7:27 and counting left in the third period. Triggs, left side entry. McRoberts gets high sticked on the play. Henry's lost his stick. It's behind the net. Coughlin centering feed, and a shot by Ginger wide of the goal. McRoberts back in the fray. The puck pinned up against the end wall. Abrant tries to kick his stick to his teammate. But the Wranglers do get the clear. McRoberts will head to the bench. Hopefully get a new stick. In fact, talking to McRoberts on the latest episode of Wranglers Weekly, where we took Henry and Gerhardt to the mall, he was actually using Morley Phillips' stick when he scored his goal last weekend. As McDonough fights a save off. And the puck goes back out to the neutral zone. Wranglers exit their own end. Contested puck at center ice. Spattered back towards the Rhino end. 6:20 to go in the third period. Errant pass for Shepler goes towards Troutwine. I'll knock it over Rhino blue, but only for a moment, as charging ahead is Mason LaBelle. Working in deep. He pivots below the goal line. Finds Torrey Lund. Looks to return it to his teammate. Bouncing puck. LaBelle's got it back. Nice play by Gondon to bump LaBelle off the puck. And the Wranglers will get possession. Although Torrey Lund has something else to say about it. He wants the puck back. Wranglers strong on it. Keep it for a moment. And now a turnover here. McDonough, a save on a shot by Tefelsky. And the Wranglers still keep their lead. It's still 3-2 with 5:48 to go in the third. It looked like the Wranglers were strong and steady defensively there. Then just a little bit of a breakdown led to a turnover to Tefelsky. And a quick shot towards the goal. McDonough is able to fend it off and keep it a 3-2 Wrangler lead. Draw in the near circle. Rhinos win it, but it splits the D. They'll have to restart from center ice. McDonald out there on the forecheck. He's so good at being disruptive on the forecheck. And his pressure there gets the puck back into the Wranglers' hands. Rhinos trying to steal it back in the Wrangler end. McDonald gets his stick swiped out of his hand. I believe it was Arias. Now McDonald gets it back. Rhinos regroup in their own end with 5:20 to go in the third. Bolduc off the wall and in deep. Tries to bump off Kruklitis. DeMarco is there to keep the puck for the Wranglers. As he'll just slide it back down to Rhino territory with 5 minutes to go in the third. Puck trickles towards McDonough. He'll freeze it with 4:57 remaining in regulation. Wranglers still lead 3-2. A lot of eager eyes and attendance watching right now, as it's a lead by the slimmest of margins. Just one goal for the Wranglers. We'll keep an eye on Joe Lavulo, as if the score does not change, you have to imagine Joe Coombs will pull the goaltender for an extra attacker if need be. For the moment, about 5 minutes left. Lavulo stays. I have to imagine around 3 to 2 minutes. Coombs might pull the trigger on that. Wranglers win the defensive zone draw. Clearing attempt is successful at center ice. Victor Budik looks to spur ahead. He finds Topi Pukkanen on the left wing. Pukkanen shoots. Lavulo the save. Goes back to Pukkanen. Pukkanen cycling like a hawk at the line. Darts it towards the near corner. Pukkanen below the circle. Centers looking for McNaughton. It glanced off a skate. Play goes careening into the near corner. Defelsky fishes the puck free. Tries to jar it out of his own end. And he is successful in doing so. From center, Red Troutwine will catapult it back down to Lavulo. Wranglers get a partial change. Now the other Finn on the ice, Paavo Hiltonen, will slide it down the length of the ice to McDonough. He keeps the play alive as he spins it out to the neutral zone for Pukkanen. Lavulo out of his cage to play it to Hiltonen on the left side. Rhinos, Bolduc pulls up, goes across, and hits a pass to Bezier. TJ Ritchie gets it, a nice defensive stick in the way to steal the puck away from the Rhinos. Wranglers exit their own end with 3:44 and counting to go in the third. Semeniuk on the entry. Gets met up with Bezier. Rhinos with possession once more, although a pass is intercepted at center by Abrams. Looks to burst ahead, but the Rhinos quickly get back into position to shut down Elias Abrams, who already has a point here tonight in the form of an assist on Luke Morris's goal. Puck back to McDonough. He shovels it forward today. He enters, pivots at the right point, flips a shot towards the goal, and it goes screeching over the head of Lavulo. Now at center ice, DeMarco will filter it back in. Tim Mathis on it for El Paso. Rhinos exit. A.J. Reed from the left wing sends it diagonally towards the near corner. Rhinos get a change. Wranglers spurt the puck back up ice to Lavulo. Play continues to roll as Pellerine motors through the neutral zone. Alexander Pellerine to the right side. Shot there is wide. Now on the far end, Lund to the right side. Defelsky a shot, and it goes up and over the cage. Give him that kind of room, he doesn't miss very often. Here he is again, right side shot. It's blocked by the Wranglers, and they sweep it towards the near side wall. Kruklitis applies a hit on Defelsky, who somehow stays on the puck. He'll dish it below the goal line for Lund. 2:15 to go in the third period. Lavulo still between the pipes. Hiltonen, shot from the line. Goes off the stick of Ben Ivy towards the near corner. Bouncing puck in the slot, and it goes towards the blue paint. McDonough kicks it away, and now Jack Ivy gets a handle on it, and he'll just toss it out of his zone and all the way down for an icing. 1:57 left in the third period. Scary moment there. McDonough makes the save. Jack Ivy is able to skate it out of danger. And that's an icing for the Wranglers, where I guess you're okay with that. Although some tired bodies on the ice for the Wranglers. It looks like we've got a timeout here. Although it doesn't belong to Austin Sutter, it's Joe Coombs that calls his timeout. And so the Rhinos bench boss, knowing that his guys are tired as well, opts to take a time to call a timeout, give his guys a breather. .157 left in the third period. Wranglers lead 3-2. Topi Pukkanen with the go-ahead goal. Just 4 minutes and 19 seconds into the third period is the difference so far. As Topi Pukkanen has been clutch for the Wranglers this season. He's tied for the team lead in game-winning goals with Jack Ivey. Both have 5 on the season, although if the Wranglers are victorious tonight, and this is the final score, Topi Pukkanen will get his team-leading 6th game-winning goal of the season. But we're not there yet. We still got plenty of time to play. Rhinos are sure to make this thing interesting. We'll see if Lavulo returns to the net or if Joe Coombs will look to get the extra attacker out there. For the moment, it looks like Lavulo is going to stay. And now it looks like he's going to go. So Joe Coombs has pulled the goaltender. 6-on-5, El Paso going for broke. Drawn to the left of McDonough on the near circle. There's 6 for El Paso. Ginger, Triggs, Lund, Bolduc, Germain, and Lindsay. As the draw is won by El Paso at the line, Lindsay snaps a shot towards the goal into traffic. Wranglers get the clear. Ben Ivey down the length of the ice, and it goes wide of the open cage. It'll be an icing on the Wranglers with 1:49 to go in the third. So we'll have another draw on the near circle of the Wranglers zone. Well, looks like they're going to move it over towards the far side. So it'll be to the right of McDonough. Jack Ivey to take it. Rhinos get possession. Lindsay to the line for Germain. At the right circle, Ginger turns and shoots. It goes off the stick of Ben Ivey and behind the goal. Rhinos keeping possession as Bolduc twists and turns in the far corner. From behind the net, backhand pass goes low to high to Germain. He shoots. It's blocked by Ben Ivey, and the puck is swept over towards the near boards. Ben gets upended. Fans want a call. None to be had. 1:23 and counting to go in the third. As the Rhinos dig the puck out of the body of Ben Ivey, who takes a high hit in the corner. Arm is raised immediately as Ben goes down. Medrick Bolduc was the one who threw the hit. And that stops time with 1:15 to go in the third period. Wranglers going to head to the power play. It looks like they're going to take Carson Triggs, so I guess it was Triggs that threw the hit. But he's very upset. Not the best time in the world to take a penalty. With your team down by 1:15 to go in the third period. Lavulo back between the pipes. Cross-checking's the call. And Triggs will have to watch the rest of regulation from the penalty box. And so you have to imagine that if the Rhinos are to get possession at some point here, they try and pull Lavulo, even things up at 5 skaters apiece, and then go look and try and get the game-tying goal. For the Wranglers at this point, you have enough to win, just get possession, and don't give the Rhinos anything to work with. Well, El Paso wins the ensuing draw. And now spurting forward is Tori Lund. And here goes Lavulo to the bench. Lund enters on the left wing and darts in deep. Defelski, low to high to Hiltonen. Defelski gets it back, tries to turn towards the slot. Wranglers sniff it free. DeMarco looks to clear. Wranglers get some extra help as they send it all the way down. No icing because the Rhinos catch up to it first. Tim Mathis, coast to coast, looking for Bolduc. Wranglers send the puck back out to the neutral zone. It skips towards the empty cage, and reaching out is Paavo Hiltonen to keep the puck in play. 30 seconds to go. Here come the Rhinos again. Germain stampedes down the left wing. Stops in the far corner. He pulls up looking for a trailer. Wranglers fish it free towards the empty net, and it goes wide by inches. And that's an icing on the Wranglers with 16 seconds to go in the third. And so critical moment here. The draw is going to come all the way back into the Wranglers' end. And the Rhinos are going to have a chance. Net is empty, 5-on-5 because of the penalty to Triggs. Draw is going to be on the near circle of the Wranglers' zone. Crowd is absolutely electric right now. And one of the biggest face-offs of the year is going to be Connor McNaughton taking it against Bradley Walker. 16 seconds on the clock. McNaughton wins the draw. It goes deep into the Wranglers zone. Puukkonen fishes it free. He sends it down again, and that'll be another icing on the Wranglers with 9 seconds to go. In a critical moment, Connor McNaughton is trusted in the face-off circle, and he does not disappoint. But another big one coming up here. Rhinos getting a change. So the 5 for El Paso, Bolduc, Lund, Tefelsky, Lindsay, and Germain for the Wranglers. It's McNaughton, Troutwine, Morris, DeMarco, and Puukkonen. And it looks like Morris is going to take this draw. Morris against Bolduc. Bolduc wins it. Lindsay, point to point. One-timer, Germain, wide of the net. Rhinos try and stash it free. McDonough sweeps it to the corner. And that's all. Wranglers win by the final score of 3-2. Smoke them if you got them. The Wranglers salvage the weekend and get the split. It's a big win on home ice, and Amarillo wins the season series. It's a big win for the Wranglers in a playoff-type atmosphere. They come through with a critical win against the El Paso Rhinos. They pick up win number 30 on the season, improving to 30-19, 6-2. They now have reclaimed the 4th seed in the South Division, and they're tied with New Mexico with 68 points on the season. Wranglers postgame show starts now. Well, we know the Wranglers have a flair for the dramatic. There's been time and time again this season where we've all kind of collectively held our breaths, checked our heart rate, and said there's no way they do that again, right? Well, they do it again. The Wranglers find a way to win an absolute roller coaster of a game. Despite the Rhinos getting the first goal, the Wranglers rallied back with a good second period, closed it out in the third. Rhinos were knocking on the door. El Paso outshoots Amarillo 37-25. It doesn't matter. Wranglers win 3-2. And so while the Wranglers still have a long shot to finish third in the division, this win here helps. And most importantly, gets the Wranglers the 4th seed back. And it looks like it's going to be a battle between Amarillo and New Mexico for 4th place in the division. And 4th place means that whoever's in 4th gets home ice advantage in the play-in rounds. All 3 games in the play-in will be played under one roof, which is why it's imperative to have home ice advantage. The Wranglers want to have all 3 of those games, if there need to be 3, as it is a best of 3, played under the roof of this building here at the Budweiser Bullpen. Absolute roller coaster of a game. Here's how it happened. El Paso wasted no time getting the first goal of the game. Eddie Schepler, just 1 minute and 1 second into the contest, made it 1-0 Rhinos. There's no more scoring in the first period, although the Wranglers, after a slow start, heated up towards the end of the first, and it all broke through in the second period as Connor McNaughton got an early goal. 1:21 into the second period to tie the game up at 1 apiece. McNaughton's goal is assisted by Puukkonen and DeMarco on the game-tying goal. With 6:40 to go in the second period, Luke Morris scores from Morley Phillips and Elias Abrants to make it 2-1. As it was a big play by Morris to start the charge. He takes a hit, springs back up to his feet to receive the pass from Phillips to give the Wranglers a 2-1 lead, but then a late goal in the second period by Mason LaBelle with 1:54 to go in the second makes it a 2-2 game as Topi Puukkonen is the game's first star. As he'll have an on-ice interview at center ice. Unfortunately, my mic's not good enough to pick up what he's saying down there, but he's got a big smile on his face as he gets the game-winning goal. 4 minutes and 19 seconds into the third period, assisted by Victor Budik and Connor McNaughton. So it's a multi-point affair for McNaughton and Puukkonen, both with a goal and an assist. And then for Victor Budik, he picks up his first point in a Wrangler uniform and his first point in the North American Hockey League. As all that comes in the game-winning goal in the opening moments of the third period, the Wranglers held serve through the end of the game. Your final score is 3-2. Despite the Rhinos again peppering a lot of shots on goal. Looks like tonight it was more about quantity than quality. Wranglers did a much better job of kind of forcing things at the outside. Connor McDonough once again had a stellar performance, stopping 35 of 37 for what is his 25th victory of the season. And so now just 3 games remain in the regular season for the Wranglers. They'll be off next weekend as we take a look at the road ahead for Amarillo. So here's how the end of the regular season is going to shake out. As 3 games left on the season, all against Colorado, all here at the Budweiser bullpen. For the Wranglers, they have next weekend off, so they'll rest up a little bit and then head into the final stretch, and then the Robertson Cup Playoffs. Now, who the Wranglers' opponent is in the playoffs, well, we're not quite sure, although things are starting to take shape. As of right now, it's looking like there's a really good chance it's going to be the New Mexico Ice Wolves. As we'll take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard right now and see what the Oklahoma Warriors are doing, as that outcome in their game will give us a little bit more clarity as of whether or not it'll be the Ice Wolves or the Warriors. So, as we take a look, Warriors lead 4-0 over the Ice Rays with 8 minutes to go in the third period there. Shreveport defeats Odessa 4-0 in Hector Counter Coliseum. Odessa has been eliminated. Shreveport already has secured a top 2 seed in the South Division. And New Mexico won tonight over Colorado 3-2 in overtime. And so now you have a tie for 4th place at 68 with both Amarillo and New Mexico, although New Mexico still has 4 games left on the season. Amarillo has 3. Wranglers own the tiebreaker between them and the Ice Wolves for 4th. So all you got to do is tie because the Wranglers had more head-to-head points against New Mexico this season, despite the 2-2 split in the 4-game season series. So I think right now, if Oklahoma is to win, they'd have 61 points with 4 games left. That would mean that their ceiling is 69. So it still could be the Oklahoma Warriors in the play-in for Amarillo, although right now it's looking like it could be the New Mexico Ice Wolves in the play-in. Kind of just depends on where that game is played or where those games are played. And I'll tell you what, as nice as a venue as Outpost Ice Arenas is, and if you're the Wranglers, you don't want to play there in the play-in round. While the Wranglers were able to pick up 1 out of 2 against New Mexico, pick up 3 standing points over in Albuquerque early on in the season, it's one of those buildings where it's right up against the mountain range in New Mexico, and because of that, the elevation's very high, and a lot of teams struggle playing there because of the altitude. And it does give the Ice Wolves a bit of an advantage, and the Wranglers haven't been to Outposts since Veterans Day. So it's been a while since the Wranglers have been there. I think that would highly favor New Mexico if those games were played in the play-in, and so home ice is going to be huge for the Wranglers. They need to get a clean sweep of the Colorado Grit next weekend if they want a chance at the play-in games being played in this building in what's looking like a first-round matchup against the New Mexico Ice Wolves. So the Wranglers are off next weekend. We'll eagerly await and see what transpires next weekend. As for me, we'll see you next week, or we'll see you in 2 weeks, as the Wranglers take on the Colorado Grit for a 3-game set starting on April the 5th. We'll have the game on the 6th, and then on Sunday afternoon will be the regular season finale, and then after that, the Robertson Cup Playoffs. Wranglers looking to make some noise and wrangle the Robbie, capture their first ever Robertson Cup, and bring the Robertson Cup back to Amarillo, as the Amarillo Bulls won it about a decade ago. Wranglers trying to bring the Robbie home. Well, it was a good performance from the Wranglers, solid all around. They just got better and better as the game went on. And really when they faced adversity, when El Paso was pushing back, the Wranglers found a way to fend off El Paso, trample the Rhinos, shut down the Stampede, and get the 3-2 victory. It was a playoff-type atmosphere, and these are the kind of games that you have to find ways to win if you want to be successful in the playoffs. Well, the Wranglers get the weekend split. Lost 5-2 yesterday, rallied back with a strong performance here tonight, 3-2. I believe, let's check on the final stars, as I know Topi Pukinen was the first star, McNaughton was the second star. I was going through my recap at that time, so we'll look at the 3 stars, and then we'll head out of here, as we have a jersey auction to get to. As looks like they did not list the 3 stars, so Not quite sure who got the second star, although I have to imagine it's Luke Morris with the Wranglers' second goal. I didn't quite see it. So we'll say your 3 stars, Pukanen, McNaughton, and Morris. Although I think I got to give an honorable mention to TJ Ritchie. He played an excellent game defensively here tonight. I'm really excited to see what he's able to do as his young career progresses. He had a monster game for the Wranglers. He was really solid defensively. So that'll do it for us here and the Budweiser bullpen. On the head out, get to the jersey auction. We'll have some fun here on a Saturday night at the Budweiser bullpen. We'll see you in 2 weeks from now when the Wranglers take on the Colorado Grit. Once again, your final score. The Wranglers 3 and the Rhinos 2. Final in regulation. Wranglers split the weekend with El Paso and win the season series with a record of 5-2-1 against El Paso this season. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good night and so long. We'll see you 2 weeks from now when the Wranglers take on the Colorado Grit in the regular season series finale against Colorado. This has been the Wranglers Hockey Network.